I'm Zhu Zhao, and let me tell you, waking up at my old desk hit different when you realize you've gone back in time 5 whole years. There I am, staring at my laptop screen, half listening to my coworkers drool over this new game called All People Lord. Apparently it needs a virtual headset that costs $10,000 just to play, and a full-body game pod that costs 10 times that. My buddy Zhang Long is babbling about quitting his job to become a professional gamer. Bold move, my friend. Bold, stupid move. And then it hits me like a truck full of déjà vu. I've played this game before. I died playing this game before. 5 years of grinding, killing more people than I can count, and now somehow I'm back, sitting at this same desk, on this exact day. August 29th, 2123. 3 days before the game launches. I'm a time traveler now, apparently. No fanfare. No system menu. No. Congratulations, you've unlocked New Game Plus. Just vibes and a sudden flashback. Last life. I joined a few months late and spent every day kicking myself about it. This time, I'm early. I'm ready. I'm basically a prophet with a laptop. I'm mid-victory grin when Zhang Long snaps me out of it, asking if I'll carry him in the game. I tell him, we'll see, because honestly, this game is not the kind of thing you casually carry someone through. People who don't know that yet are in for a rude awakening. Then our manager, a man I have hated with the fire of 1,000 suns for years, decides today's the day to flex on the whole office. He starts roasting everyone for being too poor to afford a headset, sipping his tea like some kind of villain in a budget drama. Everybody just sits there and takes it because, bills. Not me though. Not this time. I tell him that when a stray dog runs at you barking, you don't bark back. You grab a stick and end its whole career. Cue him losing his mind, marching over, demanding to know who I called a dog. My man legitimately wanted me to repeat the insult. The audacity. I stand up slow, hand on my chair, and just look at him. 5 years of murder grinding in a death game apparently leaves a mark on your face, because dude looked at me like he saw his own funeral. Sat right back down. Didn't even need to throw the chair. That's when my boss, and secret savior from my college days, walks in, shuts the manager down with one icy sentence, and calls me into her office. Cue the manager muttering insecure nonsense about me being a pretty boy living off a woman. Classic sore loser energy. In the office, my boss, who I affectionately call Annie Ming, even though she's basically my age, just from a different generation in the timeline numbering sense, asks if my client proposal is done. And honestly, 5 years of monster slaying didn't prepare me for how hard it still hits seeing her again. This beautiful, icy, terrifyingly competent woman who once saved my whole career trajectory after I saved her life in college. Romance novel nonsense, I know. But hey, it worked. Anyway, game launches in 3 days. I know everything. I'm rich with foreknowledge and poor in actual currency. Let's see how this goes. So, business trip. Last life. This exact trip ended with me and Menghan closing the deal, celebrating with a little too much champagne, and then, look, I'm not going to spell it out, but celebrating. Problem was, last time, morning after me panicked. Big pride, small wallet, classic combo. I looked at the gap between her family's wealth and my bank account and thought, absolutely not. I refuse to be known as the guy living off his girlfriend's money. So I quit my job like an idiot, ran away, didn't even collect my paycheck, the literal paycheck I needed to buy my game headset. Galaxy brain move, truly. By the time I scraped together enough cash, the game had already been live for 2 months. 2 months. In a game this broken, that's basically showing up to a buffet after everyone already ate the good stuff. I spent the next 5 years as a nobody player and never saw Menghan again. Biggest regret of my entire previous life, right there. Not this time, baby. I am eating this soft rice, and I am eating it with pride. So when Menghan catches me just full-on staring at her like a creep, she gets all flustered and asks what I'm looking at. I don't explain. Can't exactly say, sorry, just relapsing into trauma from my past life where I was too prideful to date you. So I just keep my mouth shut and vibe. Fast forward. Same business trip, same successful deal, same dinner, same hotel room, same celebration. Except this time I actually remember it the next morning instead of running away like a coward. Then at lunch, she hands me a bank card and a key. Just straight up tells me to move in with her, and use the money to buy the best game pod money can buy, because the game is launching soon and I need to be in it early. Now here's the thing about this game. It's not just a game. Some sketchy, 5 great philanthropists types apparently found this thing in some ancient alien ruins, plugged it into nuclear power, and it woke up and started thinking for itself. Nobody knows what it actually is. Governments are involved. Big shadowy deals were made. And somewhere down the line, like 2 years after launch, this game starts merging with reality. Monsters start crawling out of the game and into real life. Whatever you build in-game, you keep in real life. Then the dimensional gates open and full monster apocalypse kicks off. In my past life, 3 years after the merge, I got cornered by enemies while out farming resources with my troops. Fought to the last soldier. Died anyway. Cool story, very fun, would not recommend. So yeah, when the universe hands you a second chance, you don't waste it being emotionally constipated about a girl's bank account. I take the card. I take the key. I make a joke about her supporting me for the rest of my life. She says yes immediately, visibly relieved I didn't pull my old, too proud, nonsense again. Then, genius move, I ask her if she knows some secret about the game. She gets all sad and basically begs me not to ask, says some people know too much for their own good. And I feel awful, because, plot twist, I probably know more than she does, thanks to 5 years of hard-earned, fatal experience. But I can't tell her that without sounding like an escaped mental patient, so I just drop it. Tomorrow, move in, buy a top-tier game pod, and finally, get into this game on time. Day before launch, and I do the most satisfying thing a man can do, quit my job. Yes, even though Meng Han is technically my boss, I still go through the whole formal resignation song and dance. Gotta keep it professional, you know, before I move into her mansion and become a full-time kept man. Priorities. I grab my stuff from my crappy rental, cancel the lease, and move into her place. The legend of professional soft rice eater officially begins today. That afternoon, I take her fancy car straight to the gaming equipment store, because nothing says, I respect myself, like spending someone else's money the day after moving in. Equipment options go from cheap headset, basically useless, all the way up to the Supreme Pod, which costs $5 million and can keep your body alive and nourished for 2 whole weeks without logging off. The cheap stuff barely lasts 12 hours and doesn't feed you or anything. Couldn't be me. I skip straight to VIP service, no hesitation, and buy the Supreme Pod. Best nutrient fluid too, because if I'm going to be unconscious in a futuristic coffin for days at a time, I want premium snacks pumping into my veins. I pay, get my stuff delivered, and drive off in style while a crowd of broke onlookers watch in despair. Worth it. A normal person wouldn't understand why anyone needs a $5 million gaming pod, but I know exactly how much of a head start this buys me. They install the pod, and honestly, it looks like a fancy gold coffin, complete with glowing lid and dramatic mood lighting. Very evil overlord naps here, energy. Don't ask me what happens if there's a power surge. I didn't ask either. That night, dinner with Meng Han, 0 sleep, you know why. And then morning comes, September 1st, 8 a.m. Launch day. I climb into my expensive coffin and the lid closes. And suddenly, I'm somewhere else entirely. Massive continent. Mountains so big they look personally offended by gravity. Oceans crashing everywhere. Fortresses and lord cities scattered across the land. Angels fighting demons in the sky with actual glowing swords. A dragon breathing actual dragon breath. Thunder giants screaming at the sky like they just lost a fantasy football bet. Armies marching in perfect little blocks. These are the troops we lords get to recruit and throw at each other. This is the opening cinematic, and even though I've seen it 1,000 times in my past life, it still gives me chills every single time. Absolute cinema. Character creation is simple, no race selection, because humans are basically the works with everything race. Recruit any species you want as long as you've got the resources. I pick my old username, Tian Pong, because why mess with a classic? Class. Warrior, just for the early strength boost. Doesn't matter much since everything resets once you hit the strategy map anyway. Appearance adjustment? I bump myself up, 10% more handsome, not because I'm ugly, just enough that old acquaintances won't immediately recognize me. Gotta maintain the mystery. For spawn location. I scroll the map straight to a very specific cliffside mountain peak I remember from my past life. Type in the coordinates. Confirm. White light. Boom. Teleported. I land on a mountain top about the size of 5 soccer fields. Giant ancient tree in the middle, cliffs on 3 sides, ocean on the 4th, and a foggy mountain looming nearby that I can't even see the top of. This is it. Exactly like I remember. I creep to the edge of the cliff and peek down, and there it is. A massive sleeping black dragon, trapped at the bottom by some ancient magic seal, slowly dying after who knows how many centuries down there. In my last life, nobody found this spot until a year after launch. Some tourist-type player who just wanted to sightsee instead of grinding. And he stumbled onto this dragon completely by accident, and it changed his whole life. Cool for him. Not happening this time, baby, because I already know the secret. Last time, that guy pushed a giant boulder off the cliff using brute strength at level 40-something. I'm level 1. My noodle arms are not doing that. But hey, give a man a lever and he can move the world, right? I find a thick, sturdy stick, wedge it under the boulder like a world-class engineer, and slowly pry this thing toward the edge. Roll, baby, roll. The boulder drops. I hold my breath like my life depends on it. Which, weirdly, my future life kind of does. Boom. Followed immediately by the most pathetic, dying dragon roar you've ever heard. I literally finger snap. Perfect. 1 shot, 1 kill, baby. System, congratulations. You have slain boss, Black Dragon King. EXP 200,000. Instant level 20. From a single rock. Onto a half-dead dragon. Look, I'm not proud of murder by boulder as a strategy, but a dying boss is still a boss, and a dead boss is a dead boss. I don't make the rules. So after my glorious rock murder, I head to the big tree, grab some vines, braid myself a rope like a budget Tarzan, and climb down to where the dragon's corpse is chilling. Quick lore dump. The adventurer map doesn't give worldwide announcements for kills. Only the strategy map does that. But loot and gear do carry over. In my last life, that tourist player got 1 item off this exact dragon and rode it all the way to becoming one of the top 10 lords on the whole planet. 1 item. That's it. I walk up to the loot drop, and yeah, it's just a single item. But I'm not even mad, because here's a fun fact about this game. The higher level the boss, the fewer items it drops, but the better those items are. Quality over quantity, baby. I pick it up, Black Dragon King's Heart, special grade. Lets a dragon-type hero absorb it. Special ability, summon 1 free 14th tier Black Dragon unit, every single day. Free. Free. As in, 0 cost, forever, every day. I cannot stress enough how broken this is. That tourist guy rode this exact bonus, 1 free dragon a day, all the way to top 10 lord status even after wasting a year sightseeing first. Sorry buddy, not this time. That item's mine now. Hope the scenery's nice though. I toss it in my inventory and immediately queue up to switch to the strategy map. That's where the real game actually starts. Before I jump, I scan the map using every scrap of knowledge from my 5 years of past life suffering. Best resources, easiest defense, juiciest loot. And my eyes land on one spot, the Kunlun Mountains. In my last life, this was home turf for the strongest guild on the whole continent, Sovereign Guild. It's also an ancient battlefield, soaked in death, crawling with undead monsters, and it even has a literal portal to a dark dimension. Sounds horrifying, sounds dangerous, sounds exactly like the kind of place packed with insane loot. The guild leader's signature legendary item supposedly came from somewhere in these mountains. Say less, I'm going. I punch in the coordinates, hit confirm, get the obligatory nauseating teleport spin. Seriously, game devs, can we get an elevator option instead? And land at the base of this absolutely enormous mountain range. I check my stats. Tian Peng. Human, D-tier template, no talent, no class, level 1, HP 100, defense 10, damage 10, speed 5, no skills, no territory. In other words, garbage. Absolute starter pack nobody. For the record, yes, leveling resets when you switch to the strategy map. The whole Boulder Dragon speedrun earlier was just to get here fast. Sorry if that wasn't clear before. I promise I'm not making this up as I go. Mostly, hero templates go from D all the way up to SSS. Each tier boosting your stats more per level. I'm rocking the lowest possible tier. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. I check my bag. A territory heart lets you found a base, a troop gift pack, random starter unit, pure gamble, and my brand new Black Dragon King's heart. First things first, I use the dragon heart. Ruhr. A literal 14th tier black dragon appears out of nowhere. HP 43,400. Defense 600. Damage 910. Speed 15. Skills. Magic immunity. Withering breath. 200% damage plus ongoing damage over time. Compare that to my own pathetic level 1 stats, and you start to understand exactly how that tourist guy became a top 10 lord despite showing up a year late. 1 free top-tier dragon a day will do that to a man. I hop on its back. Riding a dragon feels incredible. Genuinely don't understand why some old legendary Dragon Knight guy centuries back got so much hate. Probably jealousy. People are just jealous of dragon guys, historically speaking. I find a relatively quiet patch on the outer edge of the Kunlun Mountains, not the deep core, because even with my new dragon, I'm not delusional enough to set up shop in a region where, and I cannot stress this enough, 8th and 10th tier monsters are basically background extras. Building inside would get me flattened in about 4 seconds. Outer edge it is. Time to quietly grind in the shadows until I'm strong enough to push deeper. I use the territory heart. White light. Ground transforms beneath my feet. Grass disappears. Marble tiles spread out in a neat 200 by 200 meter grid, and a small, humble lord's hall pops up. My one and only building so far. System, please name your territory. I type, heaven on earth. System, name available, but please reconsider. Excuse me? Are you judging my naming choices, system? Do you know how many people would dream of owning a place called heaven on earth? I'm keeping it. System, name confirmed. For reasons that cannot be disclosed, you have been granted 1 free name change. The sheer judgmental energy radiating off that message. I mutter under my breath that I am never, ever changing this name. Anyone who tries can fight me. System, congratulations. You are the first player server-wide to establish a territory. Reward. 1 random SSS tier talent gift pack. 1 random tier, 4 troop gift pack. 1 high tier resource gift pack. Generate world announcement. Hide your name? I mean, I'm literally the only person on the strategy map right now. Hiding my name from? Who exactly? The empty mountains. No hiding. Let the world know my name. The world announcement fires off 3 times, because apparently the system really wants everyone to know I got first blood for building a territory first. Except, fun fact, there's literally nobody else on the strategy map yet. So I'm out here flexing on an empty server. Doesn't matter. I'll take the W. I open my reward stash and almost drool on myself. SSS tier random talent pack tier. 4 random troop pack high tier resource pack. I get it now. I get why all those sweaty tryhard players in my past life fought tooth and nail for first blood. The rewards are absolutely busted. Last life, I joined 2 months late and only got a measly B tier talent. 10% faster construction, basically nothing, a participation trophy at best. Talent tiers go D, C, B, A, S, SS, SSS, and first blood just yeeted me straight to the top of that ladder. We talkin' heaven and earth difference here. I crack open the talent pack first. Talent, godly acceleration, training troops, building structures, gathering resources, all reduced by 99% time. Excuse me? This game is literally just war. The game, and war is won by whoever does things faster. This talent basically hands me a time skip button for the entire economy. I'm sitting here thinking, man, if only it was 100% instead of 99%, like an absolute glutton, but okay. I'll take, basically free, basically instant, over my past life, marginally less slow, talent any day. Next, the resource pack. A cool 1 million each of gold, wood, stone, and iron. Then the troop packs, a random tier, for unit, Hungry Wolf Warrior, and a random tier, 1 unit, Caveman. Yes, a literal caveman. Don't laugh, low-tier units have their uses too. Tier doesn't always mean useless. Territory stats check. Territory. Heaven on earth. 1 free rename. Still never using it. Lord. Tian Peng population cap. 2 out of 100 resources. Just over 1 million each across the board food. 10,000 time to start building. I throw down barracks for both my caveman and my wolf warrior. Because why not? More units, more problems for my enemies, none for me. Construction costs eat a chunk of resources, but thanks to godly acceleration, what should take an hour finishes in basically the blink of an eye. Both barracks pop up almost instantly. I am living my best, most broken life right now. With population capped low, I immediately pump resources into leveling up my territory instead. Level 2, 3, 4, each one chewing through more raw materials. But my ridiculous resource pack covers it easy. Within minutes, I'm sitting at territory level 4, population cap jumped to 5,000, and building count up to 2. Problem is, leveling to 5 needs way more than I've got left. So I do the mature thing and tell myself to be grateful for what I have. Which, let's be honest, is still light years ahead of every other player who hasn't even logged in yet. With my remaining gold, I recruit 1,000 cavemen and 100 wolf warriors. Normally that'd take forever, but with my time skip talent doing its thing, the cavemen are ready in 10 minutes and the wolves in half an hour. Worth the wait. The empire begins. The moment my first caveman strolls out of the barracks, the system pings me again. System. First players server-wide to recruit a troop. Reward. 100-hour acceleration card. I'm getting emotional here. 100 free hours of speed up might be nothing to a late-game player, but right now, at the start of everything, this is basically cheating, except legally. I pop the card and instantly get my full army, 1,000 cavemen and 100 wolf warriors. Caveman stats? Pure garbage, honestly. 130 HP, basically no defense, no skills, the absolute bottom of the food chain. Bless their hearts, they tried. Wolf warriors, though. Now we're talking. Giant wolves the size of small cars, riding orc warriors in full armor on their backs. Yes, somehow the orcs are riding the wolves. Very chaotic energy, very metal album cover. 1,200 HP, double damage skill on every hit. Absolute unit. So now I'm standing there with my 1,000 cavemen, 100 wolf warriors, and my one personal pet dragon, feeling like an actual warlord. Step 1 into the strategy map. Complete. And frankly, I went big right out the gate. Before heading out to actually use my army, I throw down some basic infrastructure. Warehouse, well, kitchen, the essentials, since I'll be gone a while exploring. My territory's currently shielded by a 3-day protection period anyway, so nobody and nothing can touch my base while I'm out adventuring. Smart system, honestly. I open my map, free starter item, every lord gets one, and zoom in and out a few times just because I can. Small joys, you know. My 3 goals right now: gather resources, hunt for treasure chests, and find a good grinding spot for my troops. Quick lore note: troops range from tier 1 to 14, low to top tier, and they level up by killing monsters or enemy troops, capping at level 10 unless you've got special gear or buildings. Resources fuel everything: building, recruiting, you name it. And exploring for chests is huge right now because I'm literally the only person on the whole strategy map. Last life, by the time I got here 2 months late, every good spot had already been picked clean by other players like vultures at a buffet. This time, it's all mine. Every scrap. I head east, since that's where the good resource spots are. My little army, cavemen, wolf warriors, dragon overhead, marches out in style. Almost immediately, we run into a pack of skeleton warriors, about 200 of them, sword and shield undead types, leveled up to level 5, so they're stronger than your average tier 2 trash mob. I give the order: dragon first, wolves clean up. My dragon swoops down, breathes death, and instantly wipes out a chunk of the skeletons in one go. Before it can even breathe fire again, my wolf warriors charge in and finish off whatever's left. Total fight time, under a minute. 200 skeletons, gone, like they were never there. Most of the experience goes to the dragon, a little trickles to the wolves, and a tiny bit even comes my way since I'm the commander on site. As for the cavemen, too slow to even get there in time. By the time they show up, the fight's already over, and all that's left is cleanup duty. Honestly kind of tragic, but also kind of funny. We sweep up loot, get a couple thousand gold, and keep moving. Same story with the next few monster waves. Dragon nukes them, wolves mop up, cavemen collect garbage afterward. Efficient little system we've got going here. Eventually we reach the destination, a patch of land glowing green. A resource point. Quick reference: resource points scale by color. White, 50k, green, 100k, blue, 500k, purple, 1 million, orange, 5 million, red, 10 million. And this one's mine for the taking. So apparently there's more than just the basic color tier resource points. Some special ones don't even follow the ranking system. But the rule is the same for all of them. Every single one has a guard mob standing in front of it, and you gotta clear house before you can mine a single coin. First guards I run into ghouls. Tier 3, undead, decent HP, damage resistance buff. Honestly tough enough that if I didn't have a dragon, my wolf warriors alone would have taken real losses pushing through 300 of these guys. Early game troops matter. You don't just throw them away for fun. But I do have a dragon, so who cares? Same as always. Dragon opens, wolves clean up, my dragon swoops in, breathes death again, and the ghouls just stop existing. Less than a minute later, the wolves finish off the stragglers, and it's loot time, courtesy of my caveman janitorial squad. I check the resource point, gold resource point, green tier, 100k per 100k stock. Unclaimed, regenerates every 24 hours. Quick lore, higher tier points hold more resources, but take longer to refill. There's also wood, stone, iron, food, and even special resource points. Mining speed is fixed. 1 unit, 1 resource per minute, no matter the tier or troop level. But there's no cap on how many units can mine at once, so if I had 100,000 troops, I could clear a green point in 60 seconds flat. Since the threat's cleared, I just walk in and claim it. This is where my useless in-combat cavemen finally earn their paycheck, mining duty. What should take 100 minutes takes literally 1 minute thanks to my busted talent. The moment I assign cavemen to mine, the system chimes in again. System, first player to claim and harvest a resource point. Reward, high-tier resource gift pack. I nearly lose it. This system is being way too nice to me. It clearly knows resources are my bottleneck, and just hands me more. I should adopt this system as my actual father at this point. I resist the urge to formally commit to system adoption and just keep moving. We push on, scouting the area, fighting wave after wave. Dragon vaporizes, wolves mop up, cavemen do cleanup duty, rinse and repeat. 5 hours pass. I clear out a massive chunk of territory east of my base, kill thousands of monsters, and level up fast. I'm at level 5 already. My wolf warriors level up too, the fastest one hitting level 3. Funny thing about the dragon though, because it's so ridiculously overtuned already, it needs a ton of experience to level up, so despite single-handedly murdering most of the enemy mobs, it only gained 1 level. Doesn't matter though, 1 dragon level is worth more than a fully leveled up wolf warrior's entire stat sheet. Being broken from birth has its perks, but the real jackpot of this whole trip? I found 6 white resource points, 5 green ones, 2 blue ones, and, plot twist, 1 purple resource point. A literal purple. This mountain range is way richer than I expected. Sadly, the purple points guards are no joke. I could probably push through, but I'd lose troops doing it. So I mark it on the map for later, once I've bred up a bigger army. Also found 5 treasure chests along the way, scoring 150,000 resources and a random tier 2 zombie unit. Not bad for 1 trip. Heading home, I realize I desperately need more troops, specifically more wolf warriors. Back at base, my buildings have finished construction, warehouse, kitchen, well, actually starting to look like a real settlement now. I crack open that resource pack reward too. Current stats, territory level 4, 5 buildings, population cap 1,202 out of 5,000, resources sitting comfortably in the millions, food at 10,000. Problem is, even with room for 3,000 more troops, I can't just go wild recruiting. Food is the real bottleneck. Recruit too many expensive wolf warriors, gold runs dry. Recruit too many cheap cavemen, food runs dry even faster. So I do the smart thing. Top up to 1,000 wolf warriors and keep my 1,000 cavemen as backup labor and emergency cannon fodder. Let's be honest. 10,000 food gets me 2 days of breathing room, which is plenty of time to find a proper food resource point. I drop 450,000 gold on 900 more wolf warriors. Normally that'd take 4.5 hours even with my talents discount, and higher tier troops only get slower to recruit from here. Imagine recruiting hundreds of thousands of high-tier units later. Even with infinite gold, the clock becomes the real enemy. So I burned my 100-hour acceleration card to skip the wait entirely. System: 900 wolf warriors successfully recruited. Armies fed, armies ready, and it's time to head back out and keep building this empire. Heading out toward that marked purple resource point. But honestly, food's been on my mind more than treasure. Lucky for me, I stumble onto a blue-tier food resource point. 500,000 food just sitting there. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Guards this time. Tier 4, corpse devourers, zombie cousins of the ghouls from earlier, beefier and meaner, with a nasty buff that makes them hit even harder against living things. Basically equal to my level, 3 wolf warriors stat for stat. Not something I want to brute force. Same playbook though, dragon first, breathe fire again. Flying units versus ground units is just an unfair fight by design, and after 2 breath attacks, my dragon swoops down for round 2. Melee. Headbutt, tail whip, claw swipe, the classic combo, instant kills across the board. Wolf warriors charge in to mop up whatever's left. Cavemen show up afterward to do what they do best, collect snacks. 500,000 food, harvested in minutes thanks to my busted talent. Crisis averted. With 1,000 wolf warriors and a dragon backing me up, I start feeling bold. Places I wouldn't have touched before? Now totally fair game. Chests I was scared to open? Opening them with confidence now. Hours of exploring, fighting, and looting later, I stumble onto something unexpected. A cave. Let's check it out. Inside is a massive cavern, easily the size of 10 soccer fields, absolutely packed wall to wall with undead monsters. Skeletons, ghouls, corpse devourers, and even tier 5 flying ghost-type enemies with a nasty damage reduction skill. The second I show up on my dragon, every single monster in that cave decides I'm public enemy number 1 and charges. Can't dodge it, so I lean into it. I'm not the type to back down just because the math looks scary. I post myself safely on a big rock, point at the chaos below, and give the order. Kill them all. My dragon launches into the flying ghosts first, since flying versus flying just makes sense, while my wolf warriors crash into the ground forces below. Pure carnage. And then I look deeper into the cave, and my jaw basically drops, because tucked in the back is a hero altar. This thing is basically the holy grail of early game finds. Heroes are rarer and more valuable than even top-tier troops. They boost combat, manage your territory, basically the whole package. Finding one this early is the kind of thing most players never get to experience. I'm just sitting here thinking, Kunlun Mountains really doesn't hold back, huh? I want this altar. Bad. I watch the battle unfold from my rock like it's a sports broadcast, occasionally yelling tactical advice nobody can hear. Dragon, watch your back. Skeletons trying to sneak attack your tail. Wolves, charge already. The ghouls are gonna eat your legs. The fight wraps up fast. My dragon barely takes a scratch. Tear gap is just that big, but it's clearly tired after all that fire breathing. My wolf warriors, though, lose over half their numbers. Cave was packed with enemies way above their pay grade, and without the dragon doing most of the heavy lifting, this fight would have been a total wipe. Still, losing troops is just part of being a lord. Most players spend their early game just constantly recruiting replacements after getting wrecked. The difference is, in my past life, getting a top-tier unit day 1 like I didn't happen until a full year into the server. This time, never happening to anyone else, because I already snagged that dragon item for myself. Sorry, future competition. Even with half my wolves gone, the trade was worth it. Hero altar secured. Everyone leveled up, especially me and the surviving wolves. And the dead monsters even dropped extra loot. 3 wins, 1 loss, basically a win overall. Cavemen roll in to collect the spoils while I climb down and walk over to my prize, leaving my dragon behind to rest. No riding it right now. That thing just fought 2 back-to-back battles. It deserves a break. Even dragons have workers' rights, apparently. 996, not 007. I check the altar. Hero altar. Uses remaining. 1. Randomly summons 1 hero who will swear loyalty to you. Turns out altars vary wildly. Some need quests, some need special items, and some let you feed in a specific troop type to transform into a hero instead. That last kind is actually the one I really want, because if I could feed my dragon into one of those, I could get an actual dragon hero. The higher tier, The species, the rarer it is to produce a hero from it. And dragons are about as top tier as it gets, meaning any dragon hero would start at SSS tier minimum. Just thinking about it gets me a little too excited. Not the altar type I wanted, but hey, free hero is free hero. I use it. Blinding white flash, total system-induced headache. Could the system maybe not give me a concussion every single time it does something cool? This special effect is trash. Who approved this? Vision clears, and standing in a glowing summon circle is a literal supermodel. Huge wavy blonde hair, legs for days, a black miniskirt doing its absolute best. Fire Mage Iris, at your service, my lord. Before I can even respond, the system chimes in again. System, first player server-wide to obtain a hero unit. Reward, 10 hero advancement tokens, plus a high-tier resource pack. 3 world announcements blast out immediately. I'm practically vibrating with excitement. Thank you, System Daddy, for this blessing. I mean, thank you for the reward. The resource pack is just a bonus. The real jackpot is 10 hero advancement tokens. These things upgrade a hero's tier, and tiers go D through SSS. Same deal as talents. Higher tier means better stats and growth. Iris kneels in front of me, and look, I've lived 2 lives, fought countless battles, but my mouth still went a little dry. I cough awkwardly and tell her to stand up. No need for formalities. Checking her stats. S-tier template, fire magic specialist. Decent stats for a starting hero, but honestly nothing too crazy yet. Good thing I've got 10 tokens burning a hole in my inventory. Going from below S tier only costs 1 token per tier jump. S to SS costs 2, and SS to SSS costs 3, so getting her all the way to SSS costs just 5 tokens total. She's my very first hero, plus, you know, the whole package deal. Looks, personality, the works, so obviously she's getting the VIP treatment. I hand her 5 tokens. She lights up like a kid on Christmas morning, practically vibrating with gratitude, stammering thank yous. Go ahead, use them. I'm curious what you'll look like after. 2 flashes of light later. System, hero advancement successful. Template upgraded to SSS tier. I completely ignore the notification because Iris just got a full glow up. Glasses now, holding a spell book, dressed in this sleek black stockinged outfit. Full, intimidating professional woman energy. Even her voice changed, cool and a little dangerously charming. My lord, however shall I thank you? That voice nearly short-circuited something in my brain. I clear my throat and play it cool. No thanks needed. Just doing my job as your lord. Quick reminder to myself. Heroes aren't like troops. Troops are just numbers on a screen. Heroes are basically full people with actual feelings, and apparently that becomes even more obvious once the game fully merges with reality. Gotta keep my head on straight here. No funny business. Yet. New stats check. Iris, SSS tier. Talent, Fire Mastery, 100% fire damage boost. Class, Flame Dragon Magus. Skills, Flame Dragon Shield, a fire dragon construct that tanks damage equal to her HP and burns nearby enemies. And Flame Dragon Burst, a fire dragon that deals 200% damage plus ongoing burn damage with a secondary explosion. And here's the real kicker. Her class change gave her an exclusive troop type. Tier, 10 Fire Dragon Mages, who get a damage bonus equal to 10% of Iris's own damage output, meaning the stronger she gets, the stronger her personal army gets, scaling potentially all the way up to tier 13 or tier 14 damage output eventually. Is that broken? Yes. Am I complaining? Absolutely not. I clasp my hands together and bow slightly. System Daddy, my apologies for doubting you earlier. Truly, thank you for these tokens. Iris stares at me like I've lost my mind. My lord, are you feeling unwell? Would you like a massage? I quickly stop my system worship and get back to business. Iris, what do I need to recruit your exclusive troops? 1 Dragon Bloodstone, 1 Flame Devil's Heart, and 10,000 gold, my lord. Of course it's not simple. Exclusive troops never are. No barracks needed, no time limit like normal recruitment, but always some annoying special resource requirement instead. Gold's easy. Flame Devil's Heart drops from tier 8 Flame Devils, manageable with my dragon backing me up. But Dragon Bloodstone? Anything dragon-related is never simple. I ask Iris where to find one. My lord, Dragon Bloodstones form wherever dragons have fought or fallen. It's a special or born from spilled dragon blood. And wouldn't you know it, I know exactly where dragons have fought and died. Deep inside the Kunlun Mountains, the ancient battlefield where dragons, angels, and titans once clashed for ages. So, no need to overthink it. I already know where to look. Looks like I'll have my own elite squad of fire dragon mages sooner rather than later. A thought hits me. I glance at my dragon, then at Iris. So, hypothetically, if I just bled the dragon a little onto a rock, would that make a dragon bloodstone? Iris. Dragon. Roar, roar, roar. Translation: absolutely not, sir. Relax, relax, just a joke. You did great today. Nobody's bleeding you out. I quickly reassure my very upset dragon. Iris, freshly upgraded to SSS tier, isn't out damaging the dragon yet since she's still level 1, but she's got nowhere to go but up. Meanwhile, I glance at my own pathetic stat sheet and wince. Though hey, I'm almost level 10, and level 10 unlocks class change. I'd be the first player on the entire strategy map to hit that milestone. Here's hoping System Daddy comes through again. Realizing it's already the next day, feels like just yesterday I was feeding troops at midnight. I know my head start won't last forever. Time to grind hard while I've still got the advantage. I also remember the dragon summon cooldown should be done by now. Sure enough, free dragon number 2, no cap. I name the first one Black Dragon 1, the new one Black Dragon 2, and decide that's just how I'm naming all future dragons. Efficient. Iconic. I briefly consider letting Iris ride with me, but with a spare dragon now available, that'd look a little too eager, so I let her have her own ride. Gotta play it cool. We rest up, then head out. Me and Iris each on our own dragon, troops trailing behind, toward the fire devil territory I remember from my past life. Time to collect that flame devil's heart, level up, and look sharp doing it. Along the way, Iris proves exactly why SSS tier heroes are terrifying. She swoops over monster packs, drops her flame dragon burst, and the resulting fire rain just shreds entire groups, burning damage stacking on burning damage. My poor dragon's breath attack ends up just mopping up whatever survives her assault. With damage output like that, my own level climbs fast. I'm nearly at level 10 in no time. A couple hours later, we reach a volcano deep in the Kunlun Mountains. It's hot. Like, genuinely uncomfortable hot, sweating through my clothes hot. Thank God this is a game and my body's been buffed, because in real life I'd be a puddle right now. I leave the wolf warriors and cavemen outside. Tier 8 flame devils would chew through them for breakfast. Iris turns to me, all concerned. My lord, it's dangerous in there. Perhaps you should stay outside. Absolutely not. I won't let you go in alone. Truth is, my real motivation is, how else am I supposed to farm experience? But obviously I keep that to myself. Wouldn't want to ruin the mood. Plus, I genuinely am a little worried about her too, so it's not even a total lie. We fly in together. Inside, everything's bathed in red light. The air reeks of sulfur, and flame devils are everywhere. Tier 8, ranged casters, decent HP, with a nasty buff that reduces fire magic damage against them by 30%. Lucky for us, Iris's talent boosts her own fire damage by 100%, which more than cancels that out. She unleashes her burst skill, and even though it doesn't one-shot tier 8 enemies, the lingering burn damage finishes the job over time. The flame devils try targeting my second dragon with their fire attacks, which is hilarious, because my dragon has magic immunity. Total waste of their mana. My dragon just chills in the air, occasionally spitting out a breath attack for fun, basically just along for the ride at this point. Wave after wave of flame devils burn to death. Most of the experience goes to Iris, but the leftovers are enough to finally push me over the edge. System, congratulations. You've reached level 10. Class change unlocked. System, congratulations. First player to reach level 10. Reward, SSS tier hidden class template, plus a high-tier resource pack. 3 more world announcements blast out across the empty server. I'm internally screaming with joy. System Daddy strikes again, and bonus points. It keeps tossing in a free resource pack every single time, no exceptions. I'm sitting on 2 of those packs now. I clasp my hands together once more, full gratitude mode activated. System Daddy, may you have great health and fortune. I've even written you a song. It's called 365 Blessings I Give to You. I'll sing it for you sometime. I knew there'd be a reward for being first to level 10, but a hidden SSS tier class? That's next level generous. Honestly, if the rewards keep coming like this, I might actually have to write that song for real. I tear open my hidden class template immediately. Class options are the usual fantasy lineup: warrior, mage, priest, assassin, each with their own branches and secret hidden classes buried inside. Watching Iris nuke entire monster packs has my hands itching, so obviously I pick mage. System, congratulations. You've obtained hidden SSS tier class, Thunder Mage. Instant glow up. My starter clothes vanish, replaced with a full mage robe, very wizard core, very main character energy. I check my new stats and nearly short out from excitement. HP 8000. Defense 200. Damage 700. Skills, Thunder Guardian, shield equal to my HP, reflects 50% of damage taken, 5 Thunderbolts, 5 hits at 200% thunder damage each, and Thunder's Wrath, 1 massive AoE hit at 1000% damage, limited to once per day. I'm grinning like an idiot. Shield, damage reflection, a 5-hit combo, and a once-a-day nuke that hits literally everything I can see. After 2 lives spent watching other people carry me, it's finally my turn to be the overpowered one. I find a cluster of flame devils and immediately test out 5 thunderbolts. Storm clouds roll in, lightning crackles down 5 times in a row, and the whole group just stops existing. Compared to Iris's flame dragon burst, hers does less raw damage but adds lingering burn. Mine just front-loads everything into one devastating combo. Different tools, same result, dead enemies. Iris flies up next to me, all admiration. Congratulations, my lord, on growing stronger. I'll work hard to keep up, I smirk. Rest up. Let me show you what real power looks like. She just stares at me like I'm the main character of her personal story, and her voice does that thing again that almost knocks me off my dragon. Gotta stay focused. Can't let the pretty mage distract me from murder right now. I fly higher to get the whole flame devil swarm in view and unleash Thunder's Wrath. Instantly, I feel drained, like I just ran a marathon. The sky turns black with storm clouds, white light flickers everywhere, and then lightning rains down on literally every flame devil in my line of sight simultaneously. 6,180 damage across the board. Entire swarm reduced to ash and loot drops in one single attack. Except, one flame devil still standing, screaming at me, lobbing a fire spell my way that my dragon casually no-sells thanks to magic immunity. I fly over to check what survived my apocalypse spell, Flame Devil Lord. It's here, tier 8 boss, level 30, for 120,000 HP, beefed up version of the regular Flame Devils. A boss. That means a first kill bonus, probably. Better be good, considering I already wrote System Daddy a whole 365 blessings song in advance. This guy's tankier and hits harder than the regular mobs. But honestly, none of that matters, my dragons. Still magic immune, so I just park him as a meat shield and let Iris and I slowly whittle down the health bar, while both dragons occasionally chip in with breath attacks for fun. Health bar drops and drops, and my final 5 thunderbolts finishes the job. System, congratulations. First player to kill this boss. Reward, 3 epic equipment chests, plus a high-tier resource pack. 3 more world announcements blast out. Equipment chests, huh? Not exactly what I need right now. But hey, a resource pack's a resource pack. System Daddy, you're forgiven. Mostly, both Iris and I are basically running on fumes at this point, but the area's clear, and the Flame Devil's heart drops came in big, about 5,000 of them. More than enough for what I need. Plenty of gold and raw materials too. I call on my cavemen and wolf warriors to handle cleanup since they didn't do much fighting this round, and Iris and I find a spot to rest and recover. Honestly, recruiting more high-tier troops is becoming urgent. My poor wolf warriors are basically obsolete already deep in Kunlun. They're turning into glorified manual labor at this point. I can't keep personally clearing every single fight myself either. Doing this much heavy lifting every day would be exhausting even for someone who got a second chance at life. By the time we finish cleaning up, I've got plenty of Flame Devil hearts banked. Only thing missing now for recruiting Fire Dragon mages is Dragon Bloodstone. We head back to base to rest up properly, planning to hunt for it tomorrow. Originally, I wanted to hit that purple resource point today, but finding a hero altar and unlocking Iris's exclusive troop type completely changed my priorities. Low-tier troop spam is basically just cannon fodder labor at this point. Way more valuable to invest in a real elite squad like the Fire Dragon mages instead. And conveniently, every material I need is sitting right here in these mountains. With 2-tier, 14 dragons and 2 SSS tier units on my team. Even pushing carefully into the deeper, scarier parts of Kunlun feels possible now. Also, small detail. I've technically been logged in for 2 days straight without a break. The nutrient fluid keeps my body fueled just fine, but, certain other bodily needs are definitely not being addressed right now. Guess that particular problem doesn't get solved until the game fully merges with reality. Cool. Cool. Definitely not thinking about that too hard. Heading back to base. Naturally, I keep killing things and grabbing resources along the way. Multitasking, efficient, very productive of me. Get back at night, feed the troops, and right as I sit down to count today's loot, my stomach growls embarrassingly loud. Turns out, even though the game hasn't merged with reality yet, this fully immersive simulation still makes you feel hungry. Iris hears it and giggles, offers to cook for me. I'm mildly concerned about being a man alone in a house with a gorgeous SSS tier fire mage. But, priorities. Yeah, I am a little hungry. I tally. Up the day, spent 5 of my 10 hero tokens on Iris already. Used up my hidden class template on myself. 3 more system rewards, each with a bonus resource. Pack, naturally. 500,000 food banked. 3 epic chests from the boss kill plus a bonus ring drop. 4 pieces of gear total now. And 5,000 Flame Devil Hearts, exactly what I need for recruiting Fire Dragon mages. Territory check. Level 4, population 1,504 out of 5,000. Resources sitting at a comfortable 5 million gold and roughly 4.9 million each of the other materials. Food stockpile, over 500,000. Solid day. I crack open the 3 epic chests, a weapon, boots, and armor. Plus the ring that dropped from the Flame Devil Lord boss. Flame Devil Lord's ring. Epic. 20% to all stats. Special effect. Flame Domain. Holds 50,000 troop capacity. This ring is basically a built-in storage system. Perfect for stashing my cavemen and wolf warriors so I don't have to drag them through dangerous territory tomorrow. Tomorrow's the deep dive into Kunlun's interior, hunting Dragon Bloodstone, and the fewer slow ground troops weighing me down, the faster and safer the trip. Speaking of, Iris calls out from behind me. My lord, dinner's ready. Chicken soup's here. For some reason that exact phrase sends a chill down my spine. I don't know why. I just feel like I should be scared. I turn around to find fruit, grilled meat, and a steaming pot of chicken soup waiting for me. Iris, are you absolutely sure this soup is fine? She looks confused. Do you not trust my cooking, my lord? It's not that. Just something about chicken soups here gave me an unexplainable cold shiver. Well then, all the more reason to warm up with a bowl. Didn't you say you wanted some chicken? Eat it before it gets cold. I take the bowl, drink it, and, okay, it's actually delicious. The grilled meat is juicy and perfect too. I eat my fill, finish off with some fruit to cut the richness, and genuinely compliment her cooking. I had no idea you could cook this well, Iris. Seriously impressive. I'm glad you're pleased, my lord. I'll handle all your meals from now on. Combat specialist, master chef, and apparently capable of fending off troublemakers too. What a package deal. I reward her with one of the gear pieces from my haul. She's overwhelmed. An epic item? Really for me? Of course it's for you. By the time all 4 pieces are equipped, her total stats jump by a combined 80% boost. Quick reference, epic equals 20% all stats, legendary equals 25%, mythic equals 30%. Stronger Iris means a stronger personal bonus for her Fire Dragon mages down the line. Everything compounds. I hand territory management over to her for the night, give a few final instructions, and log out. Climbing out of the pod, I feel disgustingly sticky after 2 straight days inside. Bathroom break, shower, the works. Feels amazing to be clean again. Walk out to the living room just as Minghan logs off too, and we grab a late dinner together after she cleans up. We chat about the game. Apparently the highest level adventure map player is only at level 10, just starting to experience their class options. Most players are still 4 to 5 days out from even reaching the strategy map. I conveniently don't mention that I've already been grinding the strategy map for 2 full days. Just tell her I'm close to level 10 myself and about to pick a class soon. Not exactly lying to her on purpose. There's just no good way to explain everything without sounding insane, or worse, dangerous to be around. This game isn't just a game. Remember, governments and powerful families already know things, and if word got out about exactly how far ahead I actually am, some of those families would absolutely try to control me, or worse. And let's not forget, I currently live in Menghan's mansion. Even if she never says a word to her family, there's still staff, security, a cook, who knows who else around who could overhear something. As long as we're not married, her family probably won't interfere too much in her personal choices. Marriage, though? That's a different story entirely. That's not something she gets to decide on her own. So for now, I keep grinding quietly, keep my head down, stay low-key. The people who played loudest and flashiest in my past life, most of them are 6 feet under by now. Dinner finishes, we head to the bedroom. And, well, let's just say the night isn't over yet. Bright and early, feeling fully refreshed, you know why? We both log back in. Iris is already up, geared, and waiting with the troops. And honestly, if my hero's out here being a morning person, I can't exactly justify being lazy. We stash the wolf warriors and cavemen in my ring's troop storage, hop on our dragons, and head deeper into Kunlun to hunt down Dragon Bloodstone. The interior of the mountains is genuinely depressing. Barren rock, no life anywhere, just packs of undead wandering the valleys. My dragon summon cooldown finishes right on schedule, so I grab a free 3rd dragon, Black Dragon 3, obviously. Monster encounters are constant, ghouls, corpse devourers, ghosts, even some nastier undead casters and vampires further in. We dodge what we can, fight what we can't, let the cavemen handle cleanup. Honestly, my squad could grind through every single fight here, but it's just not worth the time when the real prize is Dragon Bloodstone. Hours later, we finally crest a ridge and spot it, a Dragon Bloodstone vein, sitting in a valley below. Except the valley's basically its own little monster nest, way more crowded than the volcano was. Mostly low and mid-tier undead, but also a tier 10 undead mage. Undead mage, tier 10, 6,000 HP, 420 damage, with skills to convert corpses into undead and summon undead reinforcements. This is a problem. This valley is an ancient battlefield where dragons died, meaning there are dragon corpses lying around. And if that mage decides to reanimate one into a bone dragon, this fight gets a lot less fun real fast. Iris hesitates. My lord, perhaps we should wait until we have more troops. I shut that down immediately. Not happening. We're not wasting more time. Bone dragon or not, I'm getting that stone today. I borrow Iris's 4 gear pieces real quick. Sorry, Iris, business is business. Fly up to the best vantage point over the valley and unleash my once-a-day ultimate. Thunder's wrath. Storm clouds roll and instantly, the sky goes black, lightning flickers. The undead below panic, and the mage, being the smart one, immediately spots me and starts retaliating with ranged spells. Too slow. The lightning lands first. Every single undead in that valley, mage included, gets reduced to ash in one attack. With 80% stat boost from the borrowed gear stacking onto a 1000% skill multiplier, basically nothing short of a high-tier warrior type was surviving that hit. Thank God the mage didn't get a chance to summon a bone dragon. That would have made things considerably less smooth. Storm clears, fight's over, valley's empty. We land, release the troops, cavemen on cleanup, wolf warriors on guard duty in case any stragglers wandered off. Iris and I split up to search for the actual ore. A few minutes later, my lord, I found it. I found the Dragon Bloodstone. I rush over on my dragon, mumbling to myself the whole way like an absolute lunatic. Finally, my precious fire dragon mages, here I come. Just wait a little longer. The vein is inside a massive underground cavern, dim, with giant ancient dragon skeletons, scattered everywhere, and I mean giant, dozens of meters long. Beneath the bones, faint red light pulses through, Dragon Bloodstone, glowing with this eerie crimson shimmer. Mine it all. Every last piece, no exceptions. Iris is basically vibrating with excitement and immediately puts the labor troops to work. While she handles that, I wander around the cavern out of curiosity. On a whim, I aim my inspect skill at one of the dragon skeletons. Dragon skeleton, name only, no description. But here's the thing. Anything inspectable can usually be picked up. My hands are practically shaking with anticipation. I try grabbing one. It works. The skeleton vanishes, and I get one dragon skeleton unit in my inventory. Wait, it actually works? If that's true, then once I track down that legendary item the old guild leader had in my past life, I get a little too excited thinking about it. The cavern's massive though, and apparently this is a manual job. No troops or heroes can help me collect skeletons, just me. So I start the long, tedious grind of personally hoarding ancient dragon bones like some kind of deranged collector. Genuinely starting to feel like I might collapse from exhaustion before I'm done. There's just so many of them. Deep into the collecting, something catches the corner of my eye. The lighting's bad and the distance is too far to make out clearly, so I walk closer, heart pounding harder with every step. And when I finally see it clearly, I nearly jump out of my skin. Finally figure out why that shape looked so familiar from a distance. It's another hero altar. Seriously, system, what's your obsession with hiding these things in random underground caves? Like, who just casually wanders into a cave for fun? Apparently me, twice now, but that's beside the point. Same simple description as before, one use, random hero summon. Not the, feed a specific troop in, type I actually want, but hey, I'm not about to be ungrateful here. I activate it, and this time, I'm smart. Eyes closed in advance, dodging the obnoxious flash effect entirely. Huh, knew you'd pull that trick again, system. Except, the flash is somehow even brighter this time, and I get blinded anyway through my closed eyelids. Damn it, got me again. Vision clears, and standing in the summoned circle is a black armored knight riding a horse with literal hellfire under its hooves. My lord, Death Knight Alice offers her respects. A woman's voice. Another female hero. What are the odds? System, second player server-wide to obtain a hero. Reward, 6 hero advancement tokens, plus a high-tier resource pack. 3 more world announcements echo out across the empty map. I snap back to reality and tell her to rise. No need for formalities. Checking her stats. A-tier template, Knight class, decent HP, lowish damage, one skill called Death Charge. Solid bones, just needs polishing, and conveniently I've got 5 leftover tokens plus 6 brand new ones. More than enough. Thank you, System Daddy, for the gift. Please accept these 365 blessings. May your days be filled with joy, health, happin. Okay, I cut the speech short and just dump all 6 fresh tokens straight into Alice. Second hero summon doesn't hit quite as hard emotionally as the first one did, but hey, still exciting. 3 flashes of light later. System, hero advancement successful. Alice upgraded to SSS tier. Full transformation. Her horse now walks on literal flames. Armor turned blood red. New stats. HP 10,000. Defense 500. Damage 260. Speed 15. Talent. Master horsemanship. 100% defense boost while mounted. Skills. Blood charge. 150% damage to everything in her charge path. And Bloodthirst, heals 50% of damage dealt. Exclusive troop, tier, 11 Blood Knights. Another exclusive troop type? System Daddy, I take back every complaint I've ever had. Alice isn't as flashy as Iris damage-wise, but she's built like a tank that also heals itself. Genuinely insane combo. I get excited for a second, then immediately remember how annoying the Fire Dragon Mage recruitment requirements were, and brace myself. Alice, what do I need to train Blood Knights? My lord, simply a knight tier troop, 20,000 gold, and soul essence. Soul essence. Never heard of it in my past life, but the name screams undead related, so I ask how to get it. My lord, I gather soul essence by killing enemies on the battlefield. The amount needed scales with the tier of knight troop being converted. Oh, that's actually way simpler than I expected. Just kill more monsters. And conveniently, Kunlun Mountains is basically a monster buffet at this point. Iris flies over on Dragon 2, probably drawn by all the commotion. Introductions happen, and the two of them hit it off almost immediately. A little too immediately, honestly, because next thing I know they're whispering to each other off to the side, occasionally glancing my way. I try walking closer to eavesdrop, and they just step back in perfect sync. Step forward, step back. Step forward, step back. Eventually, I give up and go back to my soul-crushing dragon skeleton collection duty. Honestly though, seeing my crew get along well makes me happy. A territory's basically a family, and a lord who can't keep the peace at home is asking for trouble down the line. Harmony at home, prosperity everywhere else, as the old saying goes. After a few exhausting hours, I finally finish collecting every dragon skeleton in the cave, 15,000 units total. And this is just one small cave in this entire mountain range. Makes you really appreciate how absolutely brutal that ancient war must have been. Meanwhile, my cavemen and wolf warriors finish mining the dragon bloodstone vein completely, a staggering 100,000 units. Way more than I'll need anytime soon. I'll genuinely never run out at this rate. Now I just need enough gold to actually afford recruiting at scale, because apparently gold isn't everything. Except when you have none, then it's absolutely everything. I have Iris stash the cavemen and wolf warriors back in my ring's troop space. Cavemen stay on permanent labor duty, but the wolf warriors finally get to retire and convert into blood knights instead. Alice puts away her horse and hops on Dragon 3 instead. Riding a horse just can't compete with riding an actual dragon. The trip home is way smoother than the trip out. Along the way, Alice racks up plenty of soul essence from the kills, plus some extra resources, and we make it back to base just before nightfall. Back at base, troops fed first. Even soldiers don't fight on an empty stomach. Then right back out, because today's day 3, and my protection shield expires at midnight. Gotta squeeze in one more resource run, gold especially, since high-tier troops are basically money pits. Few more hours of grinding, and I make it back just before the shield drops. Bank everything, crack open the bonus resource pack too. Current tally. Territory level 4, population just over 1,500, gold sitting around 10 million, plus 6 million each of wood, stone, and iron, food at nearly 500,000. Inventory stuffed too, 15,000 dragon skeletons, 5,000 flame devil hearts, 100,000 dragon bloodstone. Not a bad few days. With the shield gone, priority 1 is walls. First line of defense once monsters start randomly spawning nearby. Territory's roughly 1,000 by 1,000 meters at level 4, so I wall the whole perimeter. Resources cover it easy, instant build thanks to my acceleration card. Plus I throw up 60 defense turrets across all 4 walls for good measure. Should handle anything low-tier wandering in from outside Kunlun. Now the fun part, training my actual elite squads. Calling Iris and Alice over to convert troops into their exclusive units. Fire Dragon Mage, 5,000 HP, 380 damage. Copies Iris's skill kit almost exactly, just slightly weaker numbers. Still absurd for a tier 10 unit. Blood Knight, 15,000 HP, 480 defense, 300 damage, and somehow already outstatting level 1 Alice herself. That's the wild part about troops versus heroes. Troops cap out around level 10 without special boosts, but heroes have no level cap at all. Early game, troops look stronger. Long game, heroes leave them in the dust completely. And SSS tier heroes? In my past life, across 5 whole years, getting even 1 was basically a miracle. I've got 2 already, thanks entirely to System Daddy's token generosity. Conversion costs are steep though, only enough gold for 700 Fire Dragon Mages and 100 Blood Knights. Still too poor for more, but hey, quality over quantity at this stage. The remaining Wolf Warriors can handle basic patrol and territory defense duty. Right as I'm admiring my freshly minted elite squad, the wall turrets start firing. Seriously? Right now, a pack of wolves is charging the north wall, undead creeping in from the east. Perfect timing to test the new toys. You absolute nobodies dare interrupt my victory moment? Fine, guinea pigs it is. I send a single Fire Dragon Mage to handle the north side. 1 Fire Dragon construct later, and the entire wolf pack is either instantly vaporized or burned to death by the lingering damage. Tier Gap does all the work, plus Iris's passive bonus stacking on top, makes even mid-tier monsters basically free kills. East side, I send a single Blood Knight out instead. Anything in its charge path gets insta-killed, and its defense is so absurdly high that enemy attacks basically tickle for a flat 1 damage. Less than the Knight heals back per hit. Charges back and forth a few times, and the undead wave is wiped clean. Tech demo complete. Threat neutralized. Defenses confirmed functional. I hand off territory management for the night and head off to rest. Wake up extra early. Can't sleep peacefully knowing my territory's still gold poor. Call on Iris and Alice. Tell them someone needs to stay behind since the shield's gone. Alice volunteers, gets the Blood Knights, leftover Wolf Warriors, 100 Fire Dragon Mages, and 500 Cavemen to hold down the fort while clearing nearby threats. Alice, I'm heading out to explore further. Hold the territory, sweep the surroundings while I'm gone. Understood, my lord. I'll guard it with my life until your triumphant return. Iris and I head out. First stop, that purple gold resource point I marked ages ago. Clear the guards, mine it clean. Then I push ahead solo on dragonback hunting chests and resource points while Iris mops up behind me. Found a string of epic chests along the way. Gear, materials, a few low-tier troop templates and defense tower blueprints I genuinely don't care about anymore. Those are getting handed off to Manhwa or auction later. Then the real jackpot. A legendary chest dropped a special building blueprint and a relocation order. Obsidian wall blueprint. Upgrades regular walls into obsidian walls, 100x defense and durability. Obsidian? Really, system? Did we just wander into Minecraft? Relocation order. Lets me move my entire territory to new coordinates, assuming the destination is clear and safe. Both insanely useful for future planning. 2 days of non-stop looting, and I'm sitting on a serious pile of resources. I actually wanted to keep pushing further out, but Iris ran into an S-tier boss while clearing trash mobs. Took half an hour to whittle down, and the only drop was a scroll. Turns out it's a treasure map centered on Kunlun Mountains, with 5 marked locations, 2 on the outskirts, 3 deep inside the interior. Unknown treasure is the best kind of treasure, especially on an ancient battlefield like this. I call off further exploring and head back to base to regroup. Back home, I dump everything into the territory panel and immediately bump the territory up a level. Gotta keep population capacity ahead of my recruiting plans. Iris also hit level 11 during all this grinding and unlocked a 3rd skill. Heaven's Burn. AoE fire attack hitting everything in range for 800% damage plus lingering. Burn, once per day. Her damage also jumped to 1,200, meaning her Fire Dragon Mages now hit hard enough to rival actual tier 11 units through her passive bonus. Territory stats now. Level 5. Population over 2,200 out of 10,000. Gold at 60 million. 10 million each of the other resources. Food sitting at a full million. The gold farming trip paid off massively. I hold off on the wall and tower blueprints for now. Don't want to blow the budget before this treasure hunt. Gear gets distributed, mostly sub-epic stuff. Resource check. 4,300 flamed devil hearts left. 99,300 dragon bloodstone. Wildly imbalanced. Gonna need another flame devil farming run soon. Still, I burn through the hearts to round my fire dragon mage count up to 5,000. 43 million gold. Convert the remaining 400 wolf warriors into 500 blood knights using Alice's collected soul essence. Another 8 million gold. Recruit 2,000 more wolf warriors for guard duty and future conversions. 1 million gold. Cavemen stay capped at 1,000. Plenty for now. Gold left. 8 million. Gotta move fast. It's already day 5. And in 2 more days the flood of top-tier players hits the strategy map. The clock's officially ticking on my head start. Alice stays behind again, keeping all 3 dragons, 500 blood knights, and 2,000 wolf warriors with her this time for serious territory defense and local resource sweeping. Iris stashes her fire dragon mages and cavemen into ring storage, and the 2 of us launch toward the first marked treasure site. We arrive over the location, and just as expected, it's swarming with undead, tier 1 through tier 5. And this is just an outskirts location. I genuinely can't imagine what's guarding the interior sites. We find a good vantage point, release all 5,000 fire dragon mages from storage. Quick and clean. Wipe them out. Iris opens with flame dragon burst, instantly clearing everything in range. Then the fire dragon mages fire off the same skill in unison. 5,000 fire dragon constructs swarming the battlefield simultaneously, exploding on impact in waves. Even I'm stunned watching it. That's actually horrifying. Horrifying, sure, but also stunning. Like watching fireworks made of pure destruction colorful fire rain cascading endlessly across the sky. 5,000 dragon-shaped explosions going off in sequence is genuinely one of the most visually insane things I've ever witnessed. Shame it's daytime. If this were night, with the right company watching beside me, this would be the perfect romantic fireworks show. Iris cuts in immediately. My lord, isn't a beauty like me already enough company? I shoot her a look. That's enough out of you. It's not that I don't want to. Believe me, I want to. This game's fully immersive, basically indistinguishable from reality. But it's still, technically, a game. Best to wait until everything actually merges with the real world before dealing with this particular fox spirit properly. Ground monsters wiped out fast, so Iris and I land. Send the cavemen out for cleanup, and let the fire dragon mages rest. Gotta treat my main DPS right. I dig up the treasure marker myself with a few cavemen and crack open another legendary chest. 10 million each of base resources, 10 acceleration cards, and a legendary necklace. Shadow Flame Necklace. 25% all stats, plus a special effect that mirrors any fire spell cast with a 50% strength shadow copy. Basically free extra damage every time fire magic gets cast. Obviously, this is Iris's now. Iris, come here. I've got a surprise for you. What kind of surprise, my lord? See for yourself. She gets the necklace equipped, loot collected, and we head to the second marked location. This time the guards aren't undead. Tier 8 Black Panther warriors instead. Decent stats, but they're melee, which means you can't hit what you can't reach, and I've got a flying army. Same playbook, vantage point, release fire dragon mages, fireworks show, done in under 10 minutes. Only thing left standing is a 10-meter-tall boss panther with 1,000,000 HP, except that HP bar evaporates almost instantly under 5,000 simultaneous fire dragon hits. Loot drop includes a tier 8 Black Panther troop template, rare drop, basically lottery odds, but hey, free money. I personally don't need a tier 8 unit at this point. My resources are already stretched thin on my own elite squads, but auction house buyers will absolutely throw cash at this. Cha-ching. Another legendary chest at the actual dig site. Resources, more acceleration cards, and, plot twist, 3 Hellfire Forbidden Scrolls. Hellfire Forbidden Scroll, one-time use, unleashes a forbidden tier spell on a target area, roughly equal in power to a level 10 SSS Hero's Ultimate. Downside, hits everything indiscriminately, friend or foe. Upside, doesn't cost stamina, and you can stockpile as many as you find. 3 of these dropping at once is genuinely insane. Pocketed immediately for later. Onward to the third location, flying enemies this time, which is annoying since I've only got 2 dragons with me. The other 3 are with Alice. Push through anyway, leaving loot on the ground to save time, and reach the site for another legendary chest. Resources, cards, and a tier for troop template. More auction money incoming. Fourth location guarded by tier 8 corpse witches, ranged casters, but squishy, and my dragon's magic immunity makes this basically a non-fight. Loot this time gives 3 more forbidden scrolls. 6 total now. Apocalypse on demand, basically. Along the way scouting these last 2 sites, I spot several unclaimed orange tier resource points, premium stuff, and mark them for later once I've got a bigger army ready to claim them. Finally, the 5th and final location. I get there and just stop. It's not a treasure site. It's an entire monster stronghold, bigger than my own territory, walls even higher tier than mine, packed wall to wall with monsters I can't even count. We land at a safe distance on a high vantage point, staying hidden. How am I supposed to take this? While I'm scratching my head trying to figure out a strategy, Iris suddenly wraps her arms around me from behind, pressing right up against my back, turning my head with both hands toward a different direction, her breath way too close to my ear. My lord, look at that cliff over there. I go completely rigid. Between the physical contact and her voice in my ear, my brain basically short-circuits. Somehow I manage to focus on where she's pointing, a cliff face overlooking the back of the monster stronghold, with a deep notch carved into the rock, big enough to stand on, and crucially, out of range from anything except flying enemies. That's the play. Land there, clear the flyers first, then it's safe ground to work from. Between 3 forbidden scrolls, my own level, 10 ultimate, and Iris's, we should be able to clear most of this place. Decision made. Time to move. Finally, a legitimate excuse to escape Iris's grip. Though weirdly, some small part of me is a little disappointed about that. It looks like document 18 is actually my own previous summary from chapter 16 that got pasted back in rather than a new chapter of the novel. I don't see any new raw chapter content here to summarize. If you've got the next chapter, looks like it'd pick up around the cliffside infiltration of that 5th treasure site. Go ahead and paste it, and I'll get you the next installment. Why are we both screaming? Because resting on top of a giant flower is another hero altar. Finally, clicking Y caves always felt familiar. Both previous altars were also in caves. Seriously, system, what's with the cave obsession? Right as I'm about to check what type this one is, Iris yells again. My lord, there's more. Come look, my eyes light up. Wait, more? Is happiness about to double? I run over and find a literal mountain of gold coins, sparkling, piled high, mixed in with scrolls and tokens scattered throughout. So much money. No hesitation. Iris and I dive in and start scooping it up ourselves. This is exactly the kind of backbreaking labor a lord and his hero handle personally, obviously. 30 minutes of manual scooping later, total haul, 100 million gold. 100 million. Genuinely can't spend that fast enough. But the real prizes were mixed in with the coins, 10 hero advancement tokens. These things are rare enough to sell for tens of millions, maybe more, on the open market. Combined with what I already had, I'm now sitting on 15 total. Enough for 2 more SSS tier heroes minimum. 50 100-hour acceleration cards. Not super urgent right now, but never complain about free time skips. 10 forbidden scrolls, 5 doomsday judgment, 5 meteor storm. 50 resource relocation scrolls, genuinely game-changing. Lets me physically move any claimed resource point straight into my territory, meaning distant high-tier points become instantly accessible without burning hours marching back and forth. And then, the real showstopper, a staff. Flame God Scepter, Mythic tier, 30% all stats. Reduces hero stamina cost for fire spells by 50% and boosts fire magic effectiveness by 100%. A mythic item. In my entire past life, 5 years, almost nobody ever got mythic gear. I never even heard of this exact item existing, which means this is completely fresh, untouched, unclaimed by anyone, ever. Probably because this entire vault sits behind a monster stronghold that only grows stronger over time, deep in Kunlun's interior, completely unreachable without a treasure map pointing directly to it. A perfect storm of circumstances letting me, specifically, grab this on day 5 of launch. Obviously, this goes straight to Iris. She takes it, licks her lips. Thank you for the gift, my lord. I clear my throat awkwardly. Don't mention it. She checks the stats, confirms it's a perfect match for her build, and equips it immediately. Now, the real prize of this whole vault, the Hero Altar. Ancient Hero Altar, special, 1 use. Converts a troop unit into a hero. Dragon type only. Oh, that explains the gold mountain. Dragons love shiny things, apparently. Even ancient sealed-away dragon spirits. Can't blame them. I like shiny things too. This vault was clearly a dragon contingency plan from the ancient war, sealed away, and somehow never used. Lucky me. And good thing I happened to own the Black Dragon King's heart item, or this altar would have been completely useless to me without an actual dragon troop on hand. No question who gets this honor. Black Dragon 1, my very first recruit, most loyal soldier, definitely earned it. I send him into the altar. ROAR, ROAR, ROAR. Pure excitement and gratitude radiating off him. Troops normally can't talk. Only heroes, NPCs, and bosses get that privilege, until the world fully merges with reality anyway. But high and top-tier troops are smart enough to basically think like people already. White light starts building inside the altar. Iris, close your eyes now. She obeys instantly, though clearly confused. Why, my lord? Just do it, don't ask questions. This little fox spirit, I swear. A minute later, I peek with one eye, confirm it's safe, then open both fully. Dragon 1 stands wrapped in chains of light, visibly straining as something pours into him. One final roar, and a golden pillar of light shoots into the sky. OH, come on, not again, blinded once more. The system's cheap shots never stop coming. Vision clears, and Iris's face is suddenly way too close to mine. I jump back, arms crossed defensively. What are you doing? Who told you to open your eyes? She looks genuinely confused. My lord, why are you backing away? Am I really that scary? Not scary, just unexpectedly close. Then Dragon 1 flies over. My lord, are you two playing a game? Can I join? I stare at those massive jaws and razor teeth talking to me in a perfectly normal voice, and something clicks. It worked. He's a hero now. But, wait, that voice. Are you female? My lord, how rude. I've been your mount this whole time, and you still can't tell? I have genuinely never been more confused in my life. Could this dragon possibly speak in a way that doesn't immediately create misunderstandings? Alice never causes this much chaos, though, granted, she's not usually around for this nonsense. Setting the gender confusion aside, the fact that he or she can talk at all confirms the hero conversion worked. Dragons are top-tier species, meaning any dragon hero starts at SSS tier minimum, no exceptions. Pure species advantage, way beyond what any human could match starting out. Though humans do get the consolation prize of faster learning curves and better odds of producing heroes in general. Since the conversion worked, time to check stats. Louise unlocks human/dragon form swap at level 40. Dragon, SSS tier, level 1, 20,000 HP, 2,000 defense, 2,000 damage, speed 15. Talent, Dark Heart, 100% bonus dark damage on hits. Class, Black Dragon Envoy. Skills, Magic Immunity, Withering Breath. Okay, top-tier species really does hit different. Her base stats already crush mine, Iris's, and Alice's combined. Makes sense she can't use gear yet in dragon form, so the universe compensates with raw numbers instead. But then I noticed something missing. No exclusive troop type. I'd assumed every SSS tier hero automatically came with one, since both my human heroes did after token upgrading. Turns out, nope, wrong assumption entirely. SSS tier heroes are already rare as it is. Ones with bonus exclusive troops are basically mythical tier rare on top of rare. My excitement deflates a little. A dragon hero is still incredible, don't get me wrong. I just psych myself up for more. Then I remember, I'm still holding the Black Dragon King's heart. It says dragon-type heroes can absorb it. Worst case, the daily free dragon summon effect probably survives even without granting an exclusive troop. Worth the gamble. I hand it to Louise. I'm expecting some dramatic, glowing absorption animation, like with the altar earlier. Instead, she just opens her mouth and chomps it. Crunch, crunch, swallow, burp. I just stand there, stunned. That's it? That's literally it? System, give me back my precious item. My heart sinks. Should have known better than to gamble. Shaking hands, I open her stat panel anyway, bracing for disappointment. Louise, talent now reads, Dark Heart, 100% dark damage bonus extends to troops too. Exclusive troop, trainable 14th tier Black Dragons, who guard her personally. Class upgraded, Black Dragon King. I rub my eyes. It actually worked. It actually worked. My whole mood does a complete 180. Hands clasped together immediately. Thank you, System Daddy. Sorry if I yelled a little earlier, no offense intended. Here, take another round of 365 blessings. Looking closer, her dark damage bonus now applies to her troops too, meaning every tier, 14 Black Dragon she commands deals essentially double damage on every hit. And her class shift from Envoy to King is clearly what unlocked the exclusive troop in the first place. I cautiously ask about the recruitment requirements, bracing for another resource nightmare like Fire Dragon Mages and Blood Knights. Louise, what's needed to train tier 14 Black Dragons? She lifts her head proudly. My lord, just 100,000 gold. No other requirements. Seriously? Just gold? Seriously? I nearly lose my mind with joy. 100k gold per dragon sounds steep, but for a literal tier 14 unit, other lords would be lining up to pay 10 times that. Gold's replaceable. Dragons aren't. Louise, you're the thing. I throw in a thumbs up for emphasis. She mimics the gesture with her claw, confused. My lord, what does this mean? It means you're awesome. Apparently that translated badly, because she immediately tears up. My lord, you're awesome. You're truly awesome. Please don't insult me by comparing me to such a low creature. Oh right. We're in a fantasy game world. Slang doesn't always translate. Louise, you're misunderstanding. I meant it as a compliment. Like, you're amazing, You're incredible, you're dragontastic. Watching me dig myself deeper, she actually starts laughing through the tears. My lord, there's no need to explain further. I understand. You mean I'm impressive? Yes? Relief washes over me. Heroes might be bound by contract, but they're not data. They have real feelings, real loyalty that isn't tracked on any stat sheet. Most heroes stay faithful unless something truly outrageous happens, though in my past life I definitely saw my share of lazy or backstabbing heroes. Certain regions' players were especially notorious for it. Gotta stay careful regardless. There's one more thing, my lord, Louise adds. My relief immediately tenses back up. Currently, I can only train 1,000 dragons at a time. Every 10 levels I gain doubles. No, multiplies the cap by 10x. Honestly, not even worried about that limit. My current resources couldn't support mass dragon production anyway. And doing the math, level 10 means 10,000 dragons. Level 20 means 100,000. Level 30 means 1,000,000. Level 40 means. I stop myself right there. Too much excitement for one day. Don't want to keel over from sheer joy before I even get to enjoy any of this. Treasure hunt. Officially a massive success, way beyond anything I expected. Time to head home. Dump everything into more troops, and seriously consider relocating the whole territory. Kunlun's outer resources just aren't enough to sustain this kind of growth anymore. Conveniently, I've still got that relocation order sitting in my bag. Cavemen finish sweeping the battlefield outside. Loot secured. Iris packs everyone back into storage, and we head for home. Black Dragon 1 is officially Louise now, full hero, which means my mount situation just got complicated. Only ride left is Black Dragon 2, the one Iris uses. I start walking toward Dragon 2. My lord, where are you going? Louise looks genuinely confused that I'm not climbing onto her. Riding Dragon 2 back to base? She immediately panics. Absolutely not, my lord. I am your mount. You're literally a hero now. Isn't that a bit weird? Not weird at all. You've always ridden me. You will continue to only ride me. Unless I'm actively in combat. Faced with an unreasonably insistent dragon, I climb back on. There goes my dream of co-piloting a dragon with Iris. Apparently dragon-type heroes carry their own brand of stubborn pride. Pride that, conveniently, only seems to bend specifically for me. Probably just habit at this point. On the way home, I take a detour to scout new territory, and we stumble onto a monster-occupied fortress. Quick lore, wild fortresses exist scattered across the entire game world, and capturing one lets you teleport between connected fortresses instantly. No more multi-day marches between cities. You can also build your own fortress somewhere safe, though that costs a ridiculous amount of resources. I mark this one's location for later, once I've got an actual army capable of taking it. Continuing on, we even pass back through that volcano with the Flame Devils, conveniently respawned, and I'm out of Flame Devil hearts anyway, so might as well farm it again. No boss this time, but still solid loot, and another 5,000 hearts banked. Finally make it home. Climb down off Louise, territory's fine, and Alice is already waiting. Apparently she spotted Louise flying in from a distance. She rushes over, knight's salute, and everything. Welcome home, my lord. I missed you so much. Then she launches herself at me for a hug. I open my arms to reciprocate. Gotta keep my heroes emotionally happy, right? Except, clang. OW. Full plate armor, full speed, full impact. I go flying backward like a ragdoll. Mid-flight, internally screaming, why is being a decent lord this physically dangerous? I land, dust myself off, rub my aching backside, and immediately retreat behind Louise as Alice comes charging again for round 2. Do not come near me. She realizes her mistake. I'm so sorry, my lord. I forgot I was still wearing my armor. Does it hurt? Should I rub it for you? Louise and Iris are both losing it behind me, barely containing their laughter. I sigh. Laugh it up. New territory rule, effective immediately. Nobody hugs this lord while wearing armor. Ever. Again, cue even louder laughter. Once everyone's calmed down, I step out from behind Louise. Alice, meet Louise, formerly Black Dragon number 1, now a proper hero. Play nice. Then it hits me. Wait. Iris. Alice. Louise. You all have S names. You're basically sisters. So you'd better get along. If you don't, look inward first. Nobody responds to that one. I leave them to socialize and head straight to the territory panel. since the player flood hits in a couple days and time's ticking. I bumped the territory up another level. Territory, Heaven on Earth, level 6. Population capacity 8,508/50,000. Resources, 220 million gold, 110 million each of wood/stone/iron. Food, 13.8 million. The treasure haul really paid off, for legendary chests worth of resources, plus 50 million each from sacking that monster stronghold's vault, plus the gold mountain itself contributing a flat 100 million on its own. Combined with looting along the way, gold alone broke 220 million. I start mentally budgeting how many troops I can recruit, and the number keeps shrinking the more I calculate. Louise can train 1,000 dragon guards at level 1, 100k gold each, 100 million gold right there. The Flame Devil Hearts let me round Fire Dragon Mages up by another 5,000, 50 million gold. Converting 2,000 Wolf Warriors into Blood Knights, 40 million gold. Plus I still need Reserve Wolf Warriors, a Unicorn Barracks to build and staff, Defense Tower blueprints to use, and that Obsidian Wall blueprint waiting on rare materials. Every other resource is overflowing. Gold is the one thing that's never, ever enough. My money. Where did all my money go? Time to call in the whole squad. 2 heroes and a dragon, presumably still gossiping about me behind my back, and start spending. Big time. Hand Louise 100 million gold. Train her dragon guard up to 1,000 units. Now 1,004 total counting the freebie. Iris gets 5,000 dragon bloodstone, 5,000 flame devil hearts, and 50 million gold for another 5,000 fire dragon mages, bringing her total to 10,000. Alice has been stacking soul essence this whole time, so 40 million gold converts another 2,000 wolf warriors into blood knights. Total, now 2,500. Recruit 10,000 more wolf warriors for guard duty and labor backup, 5 million gold. Round cavemen up to 10,000 total for 150,000 gold. 220 million gold, down to roughly 24.5 million left. Check the Unicorn Barracks cost. Affordable, build it. Construction time would normally be brutal for a tier 10 building, but my talent eats 99% of that, and even the leftover time gets vaporized by one of my 90-something acceleration cards. Yes, 90. I'm criminally overstocked. Unicorn, tier 10, flying support unit. 5,700 HP, decent stats, but the real value is the skill set. AoE cleanse and AoE heal. Basically a flying medic squad. Train 1,700 of them with what's left. Gold's basically empty now. Feed everyone. Set the daily rotation. Patrol, clear nearby monsters, gather resources, and go to bed. Sweet dreams, baby. Next morning, I wake up from an incredible dream about commanding endless armies and ruling supreme, only to get woken up by my own bladder. Glamorous. Check the territory panel, gold's pitiful again. Mission for today, get rich. Forget the dream, focus the grind. Alice stays behind again with 2,000 blood knights, 10,000 wolf warriors, and 5,000 cavemen. Plenty to hold and farm the local area. Iris and I head out with 3 goals. 1. Find a new spot to relocate the territory. The relocation order's burning a hole in my inventory, and frankly Kunlun's outskirts just doesn't have high enough tier resource points anymore. Everything here is white, green, blue, occasional purple. The interior has way richer points, and crucially, monsters there haven't scaled up yet this early in the server. Outer ring is still tier 1 to 5, interior's tier 5 to 10. Wait too long, and this entire region turns into a death zone full of demigod bosses. Early game is the window to grab good interior real estate. Mid to late game, no amount of troops saves you. 2. Find an obsidian deposit. If I'm moving into the interior, my walls need to actually hold against tougher monster spawns. Regular walls won't cut it, but obsidian walls boost durability 100x. A tier 1 wall with 10,000 durability becomes a million. Worth chasing. 3. Money. Obviously. Along the way we hit a resource point. Clear it instantly thanks to my caveman squad and busted talent. Chests keep dropping gear, resources, and even more resource relocation scrolls. Perfect, since I'll need those once I pick a new base location. Eventually we spot a massive lava lake, way bigger than the volcano valley with the flame devils. This has got to be it. Obsidian forms when lava cools rapidly at the surface. A lake this huge almost guarantees a deposit somewhere in the depths. Problem: it's also crawling with flame devils. Annoying, but also convenient. I'm completely out of flame devil hearts and dragon bloodstones getting low too, so might as well farm while we're here. Vantage point secured, formation set. Dragons up front as meat shields. Magic immune, baby. Fire dragon mages in the middle for damage. Unicorns in the back handling cleanse and healing duty. Kill them all. Iris and Louise open up first. Then the full fire dragon mage and dragon squads join in. Flame devils have fire resistance, sure, but with 10,000 mages backed by Iris's passive damage boost, and over 1,000 dragons hitting with Louise's 100% dark damage bonus stacked on top, it doesn't matter. Another full fireworks show erupts over the lava lake. Wave after wave of flame devils evaporating. Their counterattacks mostly land on the dragons, who shrug everything off thanks to magic immunity. The rare hit that slips through onto a fire dragon mage gets soaked by their shield skill, and any leftover damage gets topped right back off by the unicorns trailing behind. If these flame devils could speak, they'd probably be screaming, "This isn't fair, you're cheating," and honestly, yeah, we are. The cleared zone around the lava lake keeps expanding, and every dead flame devil leaves behind little red crystal hearts mixed with shiny gold coins, scattered all over the ground. Genuinely a pretty sight. In a "we just committed a small massacre" kind of way. Eventually, only one thing's left standing: the boss. Flame Devil Lord, S tier, level 70, 18 million HP, way stronger than the one from before. My fire dragon mages are barely level 5. Even with Iris's damage bonus, they're basically tickling this thing's defense. Time to bring out the real heavy hitters. Mages, stand down. Dragons, engage. Cue an absolute brawl. Claws, bites, and the single most savage move in the playbook. One dragon tail whacks the boss like a pinball straight into another dragon, who whacks him right back. Pure chaos, somewhere between combat and an unfair game of dragon volleyball. Eventually, with one last furious, humiliated roar, the Flame Devil Lord finally drops. And drops loot. A troop template and a piece of gear. Seriously, what are the odds I keep winning the lottery like this? Flame Devil Troop Template, Tier 8. Would have been solid if I didn't already have Fire Dragon mages covering that role. Auction house, here we come. Brief evil genius thought. What if I sell this to some rich whale, let them recruit a bunch of flame devils, then conveniently, accidentally, wipe them out for more hearts? Rinse and repeat forever? Nah, that's just scummy. These whales are basically my future customers. Gotta maintain good business ethics. Plus, I'm pretty sure player-recruited troops don't drop loot anyway. Reputation matters more than a shortcut. Second drop is the real prize. Flame Devil Lord's Ring, Legendary. 25% all stats. Flame Domain Storage now holds 500,000 troops. New special effect, Devour, can consume identical type gear to upgrade itself further. Even better than expected. I grab Iris's old epic ring, feed it into this one, and watch the stats tick up slightly. 5% more troop space. Tiny gain. But hey, free upgrade path toward eventually hitting mythic tier or beyond if I farm enough of these. Hand the upgraded ring back to Iris, who's thrilled. "Oh, my lord, even more space." I respond, already mounting Louise to scout the lava lake's depths for that obsidian deposit. Right as I climb on, "My beloved lord, I want gear too." "What gear?" "The space storage type, like Iris's. You're still in dragon form. Once you hit level 40 and shift to human form, you'll get gear." "Okay, my lord. Once I'm human. Gear please." Iris is barely holding back laughter beside us. I shoot her a glare. "Get moving and scout already. Time's money, literally." She zips off ahead on Dragon 2, and moments later her excited voice carries back across the lake. "My lord, hurry. I found a tion of ore." "A ton?" Skeptical, I fly over. And yep, she wasn't exaggerating. A whole field of obsidian deposits, glinting black, scattered across the land overlooking the lake. Multiple veins, not just one. I call the cavemen over to handle mining duty. Manual labor is literally their whole purpose in life. Might as well let them feel useful. Even with my 99% time reduction talent, mining this special resource still eats over an hour. which tells you exactly how rare and slow obsidian extraction is compared to basic resources. Regen time is half a month, way longer than basic resource points too. Final haul, 50,000 more flame devil hearts, and a staggering 20 million units of obsidian. Plenty for what I need. Mark the coordinates, move on. First objective, done. Now to find the actual relocation spot. After more searching, I finally find the perfect location at the border between Kunlun's middle and inner regions. I originally wanted deep core real estate, but reality check. The core is way too dense and high tier for my current strength. I'd spend every day just defending against sieges instead of actually developing. This spot's the sweet spot. Mostly tier 6 to 8 monsters, completely manageable for my current army. Plus resource points are mostly purple tier with a few orange ones mixed in. Bonus, it's close to that wild fortress I marked earlier. Once relocated, I can take the fortress, unlock its teleport network, and suddenly the whole continent opens up for fast travel. Perfect for raiding world bosses, holy sites, dungeons, you name it. Only problem, there's a monster-controlled territory squatting right on my chosen spot, level 8, packed with way more enemies than I currently have. Clearing it cleanly, without losses, is going to be a real challenge. Difficult or not, we're doing this. My army's small, but elite, and I've still got a dozen plus forbidden scrolls plus 2 level 10 ultimates. Worth the gamble. Vantage points secured, troops deployed. Dragons handle flying enemies. Fire dragon mages bombard from the high ground. Unicorns trail behind on heal and cleanse duty. Iris and I split the scroll stack and start nuking different clusters of the monster horde one section at a time. Entire chunks of the enemy territory wiped in flashes of fire and lightning. The sky basically apocalyptic. Once the scrolls run dry, we finish the rest off manually with our ultimates. Thunder's Wrath sweeps up every straggler in sight. I'm a professional kill stealer at this point, no shame. Both Iris and I end up completely drained after, forced to retreat and recover. This is exactly why I avoid using my big skills unless absolutely necessary. Massive stamina cost, and afterward you're a sitting duck without escort. Officially deciding, minimal personal combat from now on. Let the troops and heroes do the heavy lifting. Not laziness, pure strategic delegation, I swear. Dragons mop up survivors with melee while unicorns keep them topped off. Fire dragon mages clean up whatever's left. Iris and I level up hard during this fight, both hitting level 20. Iris, now 12,000 HP, 1,600 damage. Her 10% passive bonus pushing Fire Dragon Mage damage close to tier 12 output. Genuinely terrifying at this point. Eventually the whole monster territory's cleared. Cavemen handle cleanup. Dragons handle any remaining bosses. And once I've recovered enough stamina, I make a beeline straight for the enemy stronghold's vault. Little money, here I come. The vault's completely intact. I made sure nothing touched it during the fight. Inside, mountains of base resources, gear, scrolls, tokens, chests, troop templates. I dig in personally. Figured my cavemen deserve a break after all that battlefield cleanup. Lord's gotta know when to pitch in himself. Over an hour later, everything's bagged. Base resources alone, 110 million units across the board. And that's just the appetizer. 20 more forbidden scrolls, restocking my supply. 5 more hero advancement tokens, bringing my total to 20. 100 more acceleration cards, now sitting at 100 total. 5 troop templates I don't need personally, straight to the resale pile. And then, gear-wise, another mythic item. Guardian's Shield, mythic. 30% all stats. Special effects, fortified, doubles defense, and sanctuary, 30-second invincibility shield. Perfect for Alice. She's been holding down the fort this whole time. Deserves the reward. Then a special item, Resource Converter. Converts any base resource into any other base resource. 1-to-1 ratio. This is exactly what I needed. Gold's always the bottleneck, but would /stone/iron just sit there piling up uselessly. Now I can liquidate the surplus straight into gold whenever I need it. Genuinely might cry tears of joy. But the real jackpot, a special chest. Random hero chest. Opens to grant 1 random hero, regardless of tier. Same deal as a hero altar. Meaning whatever tier comes out, I've got enough hero advancement tokens, 20, to push it straight to SSS regardless. No reason to wait. I crack it open. System, you've obtained B-tier hero, Lilith. System, third player server-wide to obtain a hero unit. Reward, 2 hero advancement tokens, plus a resource pack. 3 more world announcements blast out. Brief excitement. Immediately interrupted by confusion. Third, I already have 3 heroes. Iris, Alice, Louise. Shouldn't this be number 4? System, what the hell, why am I third? Louise should have counted. Did you eat her reward or something? System, heroes obtained via troop-to-hero conversion at an altar do not count for this reward. Oversight noted. Garbage system literally forgot its own rules. Whatever, the reward's small potatoes anyway, and honestly it's still me getting the credit either way, nobody beat me to it. Checking the new hero. Lilith, Vampire, B-tier, level 1, low stats across the board, Assassin class, exclusive troop. Tier, 6 vampires, skill, bloodbats. Wait, a B-tier hero with an exclusive troop already? That's not supposed to happen this early. If a low-tier hero already comes with one, what happens if I push her all the way to SSS? 7 hero advancement tokens later, had 22, now 15. Eyes practically watering with how fast I'm burning through my stash. New. Only 15 left. System. Hero advancement successful. Lilith upgraded to SSS tier. A few flashes of light. Mild ones. Thankfully, system's actually being merciful for once. And a stunning, curvy, dangerously alluring vampire woman steps out. Perfect legs, tiny waist, the whole package. She walks up, red lips curling into a smirk. Lilith greets her esteemed lord. I catch a faint, intoxicating scent drifting off her and momentarily lose all higher brain function. Pull myself together, wipe imaginary drool, check her stats instead. Lilith, SSS tier. Talent, Vampire Queen, 100% bonus to all blood drain effects, applies to her troops too. Exclusive troop, all tier 6 to 12 vampire troops unlocked, Baron through Prince. Class, Queen. That exclusive troop range is genuinely insane, going from 1 weak tier, 6 unit, to the entire vampire ranking ladder, every tier. Absolutely busted. Skills are even worse, self-sustaining in the most unfair way possible. First skill burns 10% of her own HP to summon a bloodbat, half her stats, deals damage over time, heals her back up, capped at 10 bats. Second skill burns more HP for an AoE blast. Normally skills cost stamina, hers cost health instead, except her own talent heals that back faster than she spends it. It's basically a perpetual motion machine of pure murder. My lord, you've gifted me something so precious on our very first meeting. However shall I repay you? She looks me up and down slowly, tongue flicking across her lips at the end. I immediately step back. Whoa, okay, very forward, very direct, noted and rejected. I am not that guy. My self-control levels are fully intact. Thank you very much. A male lord in this game has to protect himself. There are clearly way too many supernatural women out here with ulterior motives. One flirty fire mage was already plenty to handle. Now I've got a vampire queen, a knight, and a literal female dragon all under one roof. At this point I should just rename my territory, Spicy Chicken Strips Incorporated, step outside the vault, battle's long over, caveman finished cleanup. I asked Lilith about her troop requirements, and it's wonderfully simple. Just gold scaled to the troops tier. No weird material chase like the others. Time to get home and start training before this area respawns its monster population overnight. Troops stowed, Lilith mounts Dragon 3. Sure, she could fly herself, but heroes get the royal treatment, courtesy ride included. Definitely not because she's gorgeous and I don't want her getting tired. Definitely not. On the way back, I swing by that wild fortress to scout it properly. Land on a high vantage point and get a good look. Massive, imposing, built from some kind of reinforced stone, clearly built for war. Counting troop movement, I estimate over 1 million monsters total inside, mostly tier 5 to 8. Sounds about right for an early game fortress. Once my territory's settled in, you're first on my list. Mental note taken, we continue home. Back at base, Alice is waiting again. No armor this time, just a flowy white dress. She still launches herself at me full speed. Thud. Back of my skull meets solid marble floor. Class difference strikes again. Mage body versus knight body. The math was never in my favor. Thankfully, this is just game data, so pain is real, but death isn't imminent. In real life, that hit probably ends with an ICU visit, not a conversation. Alice realizes her mistake immediately, hauls me up, clutches my arm apologizing. I'm so sorry, my lord. I didn't realize you were so delicate. Delicate? Excuse me. I am not delicate. I'm just a squishy mage archetype next to a literal tank-class knight. There's a difference. Mental note. Second class change. When available, must be something tankier. Lesson learned the hard way. Twice now. Okay, please stop shaking me. My head already hurts. I point at Lilith. Everyone, new addition to the family. This is Lilith. Also an S name. Go introduce yourselves. Iris, Alice, Louise, and Lilith immediately cluster together, chattering nonstop. They say one woman equals 500 ducks of chaos. I've now got 3 women and a literal female dragon all under one roof. Looking ahead at however many more months of this dynamic, I feel something deep and tragic stirring in my soul. Thunder's wrath isn't an option here. Can't smite my own hero squad. So I just quietly remind myself, I recruited them. I chose this. I recruited them. And cry a little, on the inside, alone. Suddenly remember that knight gear sitting in my bag. Call Alice over. Alice, you've earned this guarding the territory. Take it. Hand her the guardian's shield. She lights up immediately. Thank you, my lord. The others gather around to check it out, and Lilith especially gets excited. Ooh, a 30-second invincibility window? Shame it's so short though. I just stand there silently judging everyone's priorities. Alice suddenly remembers something. Oh, my lord. While clearing monsters near the territory, I found a suspicious-looking man. I suspected he was hiding something, so I invited him back as our guest. Invited? Today's only day 6. Players aren't even hitting the strategy map until tomorrow at the earliest. Unless the timeline shifted somehow. Whatever, let's just go see. We arrived to find said guest tied up, gagged, dangling off the wall, swinging in the breeze, with a couple of blood knights occasionally poking him with lances for fun. Not a player. Good. But still, this is how you treat a guest? Untie him immediately. What kind of hospitality is this? Alice reluctantly orders him cut loose. The moment the gag comes out, the man bolts straight for me, sobbing. Alice instantly steps in front, swings her brand new shield, and clonk, drops the guy unconscious on the spot. I genuinely wince in sympathy. Alice, you're being a little aggressive. Wake him up and ask what's actually going on. Cold water bucket later, the guy slowly comes to, rubs his head, stares blankly for a minute, then starts wailing. Too violent. This is too violent. Your knight, my lord. A so-called noble knight, with zero respect for the knight's code of conduct. I have no idea what's happening anymore. Sir, please, stop crying. Who are you and what brings you to my territory? I'm a merchant, just passing through Kunlun. Nobody actually wants to visit your territory on purpose. Then this knight just charges me on horseback out of nowhere, knocks me out cold, and I wake up tied to your wall. Alice, a little defensive, my lord generously had you untied. Why would you try to ambush him? The man cries even harder. I'm an unarmed merchant. What ambush? I just wanted to grab your lord's leg and beg him to know what kind of monster you've got working for you. And then she shield bashed me unconscious again. A merchant. A mysterious traveling merchant. Holy crap. These guys randomly appear anywhere across the entire game world, selling literally anything. Basic resources, gear, troops, all the way up to top-tier items, mythic gear, special materials, anything. Completely random inventory, but every player chases these guys because nobody wants to miss out on a potential jackpot offer. Definitely can't afford to upset him. So, sorry Alice, but you're taking the fall for this one. Alice, there must be consequences for your recklessness. She straightens up immediately. Yes, my lord, I accept my punishment. The merchant perks right up, while Alice looks genuinely nervous. Alice, since you're accepting punishment, your punishment is a giant feast. Eat until you're stuffed. I turn to Iris. Iris, prepare a massive feast for Alice. Make her eat until she can't move. Everyone was initially worried this would be a real punishment, but the second they hear the actual sentence, they all stifle laughter and scatter to prepare Alice's torture by buffet. The merchant's confused. My lord, a feast is the punishment? That sounds more like a reward. It's definitely punishment. Think about it. What do women care about most? What? A pretty face and a perfect figure, obviously. Still confused. What does that have to do with food? Everything. The more she eats, the bigger she gets. Bigger means less attractive. For a woman, that's basically the harshest punishment there is. Unless you're into chubby women. He shakes his head fast. No, no. I just prefer, fuller figures. Slightly plump is fine. There you go, see? Devastating punishment. Confirmed. He nods, satisfied. Though something about the logic still feels slightly off to him. Can't quite place it, though. Time to capitalize on the moment. Since fate brought you to my territory, let's see what you've got in stock. Anything I need, I'll buy. Call it compensation for the misunderstanding. The merchant just stares at me. Anything you need, you'll buy as compensation. Somehow that phrase manages to mean absolutely nothing while sounding generous. Still, he opens his shop inventory anyway. And the second I see what's on offer, I nearly start drooling. So much good stuff. If it weren't for the system's protections on merchants, and the fact that ticking off the entire merchant network sounds like a terrible long-term move, I would absolutely be trying to rob this man blind right now. So many treasures. So much temptation. What do I even pick first? I scroll through the merchant's full inventory. Gear, scrolls, troop templates, acceleration cards, all kinds of stuff. Most of it's nothing I need, though. I've already got plenty of sub-legendary gear, and legendary items aren't worth the price unless they're mythic tier. After a few passes, I narrow it down to 3 real picks. Random hero chest. Same item that gave me Lilith. No lord ever complains about more heroes. Buying. Deceiver's mask. Special gear. Lets the wearer assume a second identity, non-lord status. This solves a problem that's been nagging me. Eventually, Tian Peng gets famous, and famous in this game means dangerous in real life. A secret identity is exactly the insurance policy I need. Buying. Archangel's Heart. Special item. Stats hidden until equipped. Priced absurdly high, the kind of thing a normal player would skip without info. But I recognize the pattern immediately. This is basically the angel tier version of my Black Dragon King's Heart. Free daily angel summon. And if I ever find another convertible hero altar down the line, I get a second top tier species hero. Buying. No question. Mortgage the kingdom if I have to. Quick territory level up first, just to make sure population capacity keeps pace. Territory now level 7. Population cap up to 100,000. Resources, 130 million gold, 220 million each of wood/stone/iron, 95 million food. All from the stronghold loot, road kills, resource farming, and Alice's daily grind. Plenty to cover today's purchases. I grab all 3 items, lingering a little too long on the rest of the inventory, mentally calculating how badly I could rob this guy if I had 0 morals. The merchant clearly notices my expression and clears his throat awkwardly. My lord, the transaction's complete. I should be on my way. Perhaps we'll meet again. Before I can even respond, he pulls out a scroll, crushes it, and vanishes instantly. Wait, a teleport scroll. Genuinely surprised. Those things are rare and expensive. No clue if it's a fixed point or random teleport. But either way, why didn't he use it earlier? Probably because Alice knocked him out cold before he had the chance. Then he got tied up and poked repeatedly by Blood Knights specifically to keep him under attack and unable to activate it. Once released, he probably got too attached to such a rare item to waste it casually. Until my slightly too greedy staring at his inventory apparently spooked him enough to bail immediately. Coward. Didn't even get his name before he ran. Lame. Mumbling to myself, I head to the kitchen. Iris's punishment feast should be ready by now, and frankly my own hunger meter's running low too. Definitely not because I'm starving. Definitely. The dining table is absolutely loaded. Meat, seafood, fruit, the works. Everyone's already seated waiting. Dinner's served. Every last scrap eventually disappears down Louise's bottomless dragon stomach. Post-feast, time for business. Come on, let's introduce you all to a new teammate. Light flashes from the random hero chest, some in circle forms. Another graceful figure emerges from the glow. System, you've obtained B-tier hero, Cass. Oh come on, another female hero? System, I take back every nice thing I've ever said about you. Light clears, revealing a tall blonde woman, gorgeous, holding a longbow, dressed in suspiciously minimal clothing. As she steps closer, I spot the pointed ears peeking through her hair. An elf. She bows. Cass greets her esteemed lord. Thank you for the summoning. I'll follow wherever your path leads. Checking her stats. B tier, Elven Archer, decent starting numbers, basic skill. Normal players would be thrilled. Me? Not nearly impressed enough. Not when I've got tokens to burn. Ugh, only 15 left, and after this only 8. Not enough, never enough. 7 tokens later, system. Hero advancement successful. Cass upgraded to SSS tier. Her look barely changes. Outfit swaps from leaves to actual fabric, small mercy, but her stats jump massively, and she gets an exclusive troop type too. Cass, SSS tier. Talent. Guardian's Aura, 100% stat boost to self and exclusive troops, while inside territory. Exclusive troop. Tier, 10 Guardian Elves. Skills. Phantom Shot, doubles damage per hit, and Sniper, ranged attacks ignore distance and walls. That last skill alone is terrifyingly good. Free damage through any defense, no exceptions. Exclusive troop confirmed, and a tier, 10-1 at that. Her talent's incredible too. 100% stat boost to herself and her troop type while inside the territory, which honestly makes her the perfect replacement for territory defense duty going forward. Before I can even finish thinking through her skill kit, she just hugs me, then kisses me. Fully, completely, without warning. I struggle, eventually escape the ambush. Took longer than I'd like to admit, and there's this small, annoying part of me that's a little disappointed it ended. Nope, not thinking about that. Women, no, scratch that. Any female creature at this point are a threat to my combat reflexes. Exception made for Menghan, obviously. Time to handle territory business and log off before things get more complicated. Equip the Deceiver's Mask. System, second identity unlocked. Please name your alternate persona. If my first identity's Tian Pong, the obvious second identity has to be Bajia. One's heaven, one's mortal, perfectly matching my territory name, Heaven on Earth. I'm basically a genius. System, adjust second identity's appearance? No adjustments needed. First identity got the 10% glow up already, no need to double dip. Stats check. First identity's sitting pretty at level 23, 13,200 HP, solid damage output, 3 thunder skills unlocked. Second identity, Bajia, is exactly as garbage as I was on day 1. D tier, level 1, 0, everything. Functionally useless on his own, but exactly what I need for staying anonymous and safe going forward. 2 identities means twice the flexibility, twice the safety margin. Last item, Archangel's Heart. Archangel's Heart, special. Absorbable by an angel-type hero. Effect, free daily angel summon, once unlocked in the strategy map. Same exact playbook as the dragon item. No hesitation, using today's free summon immediately. Angel, tier 14, flying unit. 35,000 HP, 1,000 damage. Skills, Resurrection, revive fallen allies. Daily cap equal to 100x own HP. And Holy Judgment, 200% damage plus 100% light damage, double effect against dark type enemies. Slightly less tanky than my dragons, but hits harder, and that resurrection skill is genuinely game-changing. Between this and my unicorn healers, troop losses basically stop matching. Even a single level, one angel can revive roughly 80 dragon equivalent units per day. Scale that army up over time, and the math gets absolutely ridiculous. Getting ahead of myself, though, focus on today's priorities. Build the obsidian wall, convert exclusive troops, prep the relocation. Territories currently level 7. Footprint 3,000 by 3,000 meters. Total wall perimeter 12,000 meters. Tier, 1 obsidian wall costs 100 gold and 100 obsidian per meter. Resources, 130 million gold, 220 million each of the rest. After the merchant purchases, 80 million each across all base resources. I liquidate everything else straight into gold using my converter, bringing total gold to 420 million. Build the obsidian wall first. System, 1.2 million gold and obsidian consumed, building 12,000 meters of obsidian wall. Acceleration card, instant completion. Keep upgrading. Total spend, 18 million gold, 18 million obsidian, wall pushed to level 4. Stop there purely because I'm out of obsidian. Only had 20 million banked. The wall now stretches 12,000 meters, 20 meters tall, 5 meters thick, glowing black with that intimidating metallic sheen. Obsidian wall, level 4. Durability, 8 million. 8 million durability. Even a maxed out angel only does 2,000 damage per hit. Even a sustained siege would take ages to crack this thing, and that's before factoring in 60 wall turrets and my entire active garrison. This is exactly the confidence I needed to commit to relocating into Kunlun's deeper edge zones. Close the panel, climb up onto the wall myself, and just look out over my entire territory. Pride. Genuine pride. 6 days. 6 days. And I've already surpassed 5 entire years of past life progress. Maybe this time, I really do change everything. Not, maybe, definitely. I've got 5 SSS tier heroes, every single one with their own exclusive troop line. Louise, tier 14 Black Dragons Iris, tier 10 Fire Dragon Mages Alice, tier 11 Blood Knights Lilith, tier 6 to 12 Full Vampire Lineup Cass, tier 10 Guardian Elves plus an Archangel's Heart waiting for its eventual angel hero, and the Dragon Hero conversion trick proven and ready to repeat if I find another convertible altar. As long as the gold keeps flowing, my army will never run dry. If I can't make something of this setup, I might as well go find a block of tofu to headbutt and call it a day. 5 years last life got me nowhere close to this. This time, I'm climbing to the very top of the mountain, and I'm going to enjoy every bit of the view from up there, loneliness and all. This is just the starting line, not the finish. The whole squad climbs the wall to admire it. Lilith taps the obsidian with her hand, genuinely impressed. My lord, this wall is insane. Everyone else, including the dragon, immediately starts copying the wall-tapping thing. I ignore them all. My lips are still recovering. Thank you very much. Cass, what does your exclusive troop need to recruit? My lord, 1 elf-type troop, plus 10,000 gold. Manageable. Conveniently, my looted templates from the monster stronghold include exactly 1 elf template. Tier 5 elf hunters. Build the barracks. Eat the cost. Deal with the inconvenience of converting gold back into base resources just for this. Recruit 20,000 instantly with my talent and a quick acceleration card. Elf hunter. Tier 5. Decent range stats. Double shot skill. Solid filler unit. Then the real payoff. Convert into Guardian Elves. Guardian Elf, Tier 10, ranged. Surprisingly tanky defense for a ranged class. Almost matches an actual Tier 11 Knight unit. Maybe less armor means more dodge tech, who knows. Combined with Cass's territory-wide stat doubling, these things effectively punch like Tier 12 or 13 units while inside my walls. Defense is officially a solved problem. Gold check, still sitting on 180 million. Fire Dragon Mages stay capped at 10,000 for now, plenty. What I really want is Lilith's vampire lineup. Originally aimed for the top-tier prince rank, but after comparing cost efficiency, settle for Duke tier instead. Still excellent value. Fully covers current needs without burning through resources for marginal gains. 9,000 Vampire Dukes recruited. Empties the treasury completely. Vampire Duke, Tier 11. Flying, solid stats, same self-sustaining blood drain combo as Lilith herself, just at 20% HP cost instead of 10%. Still basically unkillable as long as nothing one-shots them. Current army roster: 1 Angel, 1,004 Black Dragons, 9,000 Vampire Dukes, 2,500 Blood Knights, 20,000 Guardian Elves, 10,000 Fire Dragon Mages, 1,700 Unicorns, 10,000 Wolf Warriors, 10,000 cavemen. Over 64,000 troops total, more than 40,000 of them high tier or better. 5 years of my past life never got me anywhere close to a roster like this. Time for the big move, relocation. Recall everyone. Head to the Lord's Hall, pull out the relocation order. System, enter the destination coordinates. Kunlun Mountains. 23456, 34567. The ground immediately starts shaking. Blinding white light engulfs the entire territory. God damn it, not this again. Another full-screen flash blast straight through my eyelids. Over a minute of disorientation and screen shaking later, vision clears. System, relocation successful. Cass turns to me, confused. My lord, why was everything pure white just now? I glance at her, then at the others. Was your pure white the same kind of white I'm picturing right now? Skip the explanation, lead everyone up onto the new wall. Everyone, heroes and dragon alike, stares around at the unfamiliar new landscape with childlike curiosity. Meanwhile, I pull out every resource relocation scroll in my inventory. Now that the move's done, no point dragging my feet. Time to pull every high-tier resource point I've discovered into range of the new base. Late-game lords always build out their own dedicated resource clusters this way. Might as well start mine early. Hand the scrolls off to the heroes to handle the legwork. No reason for me to micromanage something this menial when I've got staff for exactly this. A few final instructions for territory upkeep, and then I log off. Today's been a lot. Time to recover. Pod opens up, I climb out soaking wet as usual, hit the bathroom, eat dinner, and find out Manhwa's still logged in. Tell the staff to send word that I'll be waiting in the study. I'm not there to read anything. After days stuck in a pod, I just want to sit somewhere quiet that isn't a coffin-shaped game device. Spend a while planning out my territory's next moves in my head. Just as I'm about to give up and head to bed, Manhwa finally walks in. Hey, what made you log off tonight? She walks straight over and, yeah, we're both exhausted, so we just collapse into bed together and pass out. Meanwhile, back in the game, my heroes finish relocating every high-tier resource point I'd marked, specifically gold points, purple and orange tier exclusively, per my standing orders before logging off. Gold's always the bottleneck, no exceptions, so that's the priority forever. No rest for the squad though. Monster howls start closing in almost immediately. Everyone scrambles to the wall just in time to see a full-scale siege incoming. Iris, being my very first recruit, naturally steps up to coordinate. Louise, take your dragons and hold the east wall. Lilith, vampires to the north. Cass, guardian elves to the south. I'll handle the west with my mages. Everyone deploys accordingly. Alice, feeling forgotten, pouts. Iris, what about me and my blood knights? Iris laughs, taps her on the head. How could I forget you? Stay with me, reinforce wherever's needed. Alice immediately cheers up. First fight kicks off on the east wall. Louise leads her 1,004 dragons out, and immediately decides defense is boring. Dragons, by nature, are arrogant, aggressive, and combat-hungry. She only behaves when I'm personally around. Offense is the defense, apparently. She sends the dragons straight into the air above the monster horde. Over 1,000 simultaneous breath attacks wipe out massive chunks instantly. Not satisfied with that, the dragons start body-slamming survivors too. Pure carnage. South wall. Cass's guardian elves go to work. Her sniper skill ignores both range and walls entirely, meaning anything visible is already dead. With her territory-wide 100% stat boost active, every double shot from 20,000 elves is basically an instant kill. North wall. Lilith refuses to play defense too, leading her vampire dukes straight into the air above the horde. Blood bats summon endlessly, healing her troops faster than the enemy can deal damage. 9,000 dukes spawning 90,000 bats total, self-sustaining chaos. Pure perpetual motion murder machine, just like advertised. West wall. Iris and Alice are having the most fun visually. Nighttime fire dragon fireworks lighting up the sky, absolutely gorgeous to watch. Realistically, this siege was never any real threat. My army's too high tier across the board. Within minutes, the attacking force is basically routed. A few stragglers manage to climb over corpse piles close enough to reach the wall itself. Alice, antsy about missing out on the action, begs Iris to let her clean up the remainder. Iris teases her a little. Relax, the obsidian wall has 8 million durability. These stragglers couldn't break through in days even if they tried. Alice resorts to full puppy eyes mode, tugging Iris's arm, whining until Iris finally relents. Fine, go play with your blood knights. Not much danger, but stay sharp. Alice immediately leaps off the wall, rallies her knights, and charges out to mop up whatever's left. She sweeps east and north first. Already cleared, nothing but corpses. Heads south to Cass's section. Same story, just a few stragglers feebly scratching uselessly at the obsidian wall. Alice almost feels bad for them before charging in anyway, sending the last few flying with her lance. Fight's over fast. Back at the hall, Iris is already organizing cavemen and wolf warriors for battlefield cleanup. Low-tier troops gotta earn their keep somehow, if they're not pulling combat weight. Alice pouts, clearly disappointed. Iris, I didn't even get to enjoy it. The fight ended too fast. The other three, plus Dragon, immediately swoop in to comfort her. Turns out the resident baby of the group always gets the group hug treatment when she's sulking. Both of us wake up early, despite, last night's workout, leaving us thoroughly exhausted. Today's a big day. The top-tier players hit level 20, and everyone floods into the strategy map. Menghan's almost there herself. Before logging in, she gives me her in-game name, tells me to add her as a friend once I reach the strategy map myself. Once she's gone, I'm wide awake with nothing to do, so I browse the forums for a bit. It's mostly noise, guild recruitment spam, some company offering players a job to grind resources full-time, and a guild explicitly recruiting women only, men stay away. Genuinely useless information overall, though that last one's mildly entertaining. Forum closed, breakfast eaten, nutrient fluid topped off, into the pod I go. Back in the game, I check the territory panel and immediately do a double take. Gold, 40 million. Wood, stone, iron, 40 million each. Food, 63 million. Wait, didn't we burn through basically everything last night? There's no way the girls farmed this much resource overnight on their own. Before I can puzzle it out further, the whole crew, for heroes plus one dragon, converges on the Lord's Hall the second they sense I'm back. Alice, fully armored, immediately tries to launch herself at me again. I throw my hands up. Alice, new rule, still in effect. No hugging this lord while armored. We've discussed this. Everyone else stifles laughter, including the dragon, somehow. Don't ask me how a dragon stifles laughter. I genuinely don't know. Alice redirects her enthusiasm into just clinging to my arm instead. My lord, something huge happened while you were gone last night. Iris, ever the responsible big sister of the group, fills me in properly. Turns out we got hit with a full siege overnight, hence the resource windfall and bonus experience. Alice keeps interrupting with her own excited commentary until I finally calm her down. Best part of the night's haul, Louise hit level 10. Louise, now level 11, 40,000 HP, for 1,000 defense, for 1,000 damage, with a new skill unlocked, Dark Devour, wraps herself in dark energy, temporarily boosting all stats 5x. That's a single target ultimate, not AoE, and even at her current numbers, a 5x multiplier is genuinely terrifying to imagine. Even better, hitting level 11 means her dragon troop cap jumped to 10,000. I convert all base resources straight to gold, 120 million total, and immediately recruit 1,200 more dragons. Panel goes empty again almost instantly. I sigh dramatically. Not enough. Never enough. Time to finally take that wild fortress, solves the resource problem, and sets up future expansion. Cass stays behind with her guardian elves, since her territory aura talent makes her the obvious permanent home defense pick. I'd planned to leave Alice behind too for resource duty, but she begs her way into joining the raid instead, so Cass gets full solo defense responsibility. Wolf warriors stay home for backup garrison. Only 1,000 cavemen come along for loot cleanup. Iris stashes the rest of the army, and we mount up. Me on Louise, everyone else on unicorns because apparently dragons aren't pretty enough for them. Louise looks personally offended by this slander. Thanks to last night's siege thinning out the local monster population, the trip to the fortress is smooth and uneventful. We arrive at my old scouting spot, and I take one more pass around the perimeter on Louise to find the perfect vantage point for my fire dragon mages. Settle on a modest hilltop overlooking the fortress with clean line of sight. Right as I'm about to give the attack order, the system fires off a massive announcement. System, congratulations to player Arthur, second player to establish a territory. Reward, SS tier talent pack, tier, 4 troop template, high tier resource pack. 3 repeats, then immediately another. System, congratulations to player Lizenzi, third player to establish a territory. Reward, S tier talent pack. Another Chinese player, also using a mythological name like me. Before I can even process that, a third announcement fires. System, congratulations to player Yumikawachi Ku, fourth player to establish a territory. A Japanese player this time. Listening to the announcements roll in one after another, it hits me. The same elite players who dominated my past life are dominating again this time around. Arthur was the strongest American lord last life. Lizenzi led China's national alliance, backed by military connections. Yumakawachi represented Japan's Mitsubishi conglomerate, also frighteningly capable. Last life, these three, along with a handful of others, split up more than half the entire world's resources between them. This time, even if my little flap of butterfly wings can't change everything, I'm going to keep flapping anyway. Sooner or later, everything changes. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the server, a blonde American guy, Arthur, second territory founder, is furious at not being first, ranting about all his advisors and his master plan getting somehow beaten anyway. Over in China, a stern, battle-hardened military-type guy named Lizenzi is surprised to only be third, vowing to grind harder since he's got actual government backing. And somewhere on a Japanese island, a short, sleazy-looking guy is throwing a tantrum and cursing out whoever beat him to the punch. Back to me. I open the global chat channel, and it's complete chaos, flooded with messages. Wait, I'm not even top 10? My rewards? My territory's surrounded by resource points. Jackpot. Wait. Why are they all guarded by monsters? Why does recruiting cost so much gold? Anyone got tips? Genuinely thrilled. Finally, other players are showing up. Been a one-man server for way too long. And frankly, my warehouse full of mismatched gear and troop templates desperately needs actual customers willing to overpay. Close the chat. Refocus. Time to finally take this fortress. Battle plan time. Alice, you and your Blood Knights hit the front gate. Draw the defense system's fire. Stay safe. She lights up. Thank you, my lord. I'll be careful. I wipe drool off my face from her enthusiasm and add. Also, reminder, no armored hugs, ever. Next time, there will be consequences. She just grins. My lord, why wait? Punish me right now. I glance at the full plate armor covering literally every inch of her and decide my hands aren't worth the pain. Just go get ready, or I'm leaving you behind next time. That gets her moving fast. Louise, once Alice draws fire, you and your dragons hit the left flank, prioritize defense systems and wall guards, support the breach. Understood, my lord. She leans her giant dragon head in for a kiss. I back away immediately. Louise, let's save that for when you're 40 and human-shaped. Please. I'd rather not get swallowed whole. She pulls back, visibly sulking, clearly frustrated about the wait. Channels that frustration straight into rage flying toward the left flank with her dragons. I genuinely feel bad for whatever's stationed on that side of the fortress. Nobody survives dragon rage unscathed. Lilith, right flank, same plan with your vampire dukes. As you command, my lord. She runs up, plants an unapologetic kiss before I can dodge, then heads off with her squad. That leaves just Iris's fire dragon mages and the unicorns up top with me. Everyone's in position. Attack. Fire dragon mages open with a barrage, the signal. Alice charges in with 2,500 blood knights, spreading wide to soak fire from the fortress turrets, mage towers, and cannons. Plenty of damage gets dodged thanks to their spread formation and speed, and what gets through isn't enough to drop anyone outright. Problem is, with no enemies outside the walls to actually hit, the knights can't trigger their lifesteal. So I send unicorns out to keep them topped off and cleanse the magical debuffs. I even assign 100 unicorns specifically as Alice's personal bodyguard squad. Heroes are simply too valuable to risk. Meanwhile, Louise's flank goes nuclear. Dragon Breath alone obliterates the entire left side defense network instantly, taking the garrison down with it. Health bars evaporate in waves of white light, each flash marking another dead monster, and the dragons don't let up for a second. Breath after breath, no mercy. Right side, Lilith's vampires run the same self-healing combo from before, bloodbats chewing through wall guards while her direct attacks shred the defense turrets. Front gate, my fire dragon mages are dismantling the entire defense grid. Turrets, mage towers, cannons, all crumbling under sustained fire. Defense structures have durability too, and once that's gone, they go offline until repaired post-battle. Down below, Alice is stuck on pure crowd control duty, visibly miserable about it. Ugh, drawing fire just means getting hit and doing nothing useful. When do we actually breach this thing? Flying overhead on a unicorn, I catch Alice's whining in real time. What are you waiting for? Defense systems are toast, go. Breach it. She practically explodes with excitement. My lord, I was hoping you'd say that. Love you. Blows me a kiss midair, then rallies her knights and charges the gate full force. With the turrets already dead, the Blood Knights and Fire Dragon mages team up, and the front wall's durability craters fast. Breach achieved, knights pour through the gap. Meanwhile, Louise and Lilith are already deep inside, cleaning house from both flanks. Turns out flying troops never needed the walls down in the first place. They just went straight over the top once the turrets stopped being a problem. By the time I make it inside myself, more than half the garrison's already dead. Watching Alice's knights charge as a unit instead of just soaking fire is night and day. Cavalry only really shines en masse, and now they're proving it. Dragons doing their melee triple combo, vampire dukes raining death from above with unicorn support, keeping everyone topped off. Every single attack wave lights up the battlefield with dozens, sometimes hundreds of instant kill flashes simultaneously. With over 10,000 elite units between dragons, knights, and vampires, the remaining garrison doesn't last more than a couple rounds. Counterattacks barely register. Nothing here can break a dragon's defense, and anything that does scratch a knight or vampire gets healed back instantly. A few bosses put up slightly more resistance. Slightly. The dragon mob still finishes them off in record time. Cavemen get released for cleanup duty. My Archangel's heart cooldown also wraps up. Second angel recruited, and I immediately assign 2 angels to revive the Blood Knights who died drawing fire earlier. I head for the central hall. Taking a fortress isn't just about killing everything inside. You've got to formally claim it from the command room too. Same as any territory. System, fortress conquered. Claim or destroy. Destroying grants partial resources. Obviously claiming it. I didn't fight this hard just to demolish my prize for pocket change. System, fortress successfully claimed. Immediately followed by system, congratulations to player Tian Peng, first to capture a fortress. Reward, 100 million base resources, 100 acceleration cards, 50 resource relocation scrolls, 50 resource point upgrade scrolls, 2 mythic equipment chests. 3 full server-wide announcements blast out. The entire strategy map chat goes completely silent for a beat, and then absolutely explodes. Wait, what's a fortress? Can someone explain? Just logged in and already hearing legends about some guy named Tian Peng? How many troops do you even need to take a fortress? I've got like 10 tier 1 units, can I try? Tian Peng sounds like a Chinese name. Must be a Chinese whale. All hail. Nah, Tian Peng's definitely Korean. Calling it now. Total chaos. Then, even louder than the chat spam, a server-wide megaphone announcement fires off, the kind that costs real gold to send. Whoever can connect me with Lord Tian Peng, I'll pay 10 million real-world cash. National representatives, conglomerates, family dynasties. Everyone starts spamming megaphone messages at me. Lord Tian Peng, might we request a friend connection? We'd love to discuss partnership or alliance terms. If you're willing to meet in person, we'll agree to virtually any condition. This is America calling. Come work with us. We'll offer better terms than anyone else. I just stare at the flood of messages, completely done. You people are circling me like sharks smelling blood. Meet in person, agree to any condition? Yeah, no thanks. I don't want to end up picked clean to the bone. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, in an elven forest region, a certain female lord, unmistakably Meng Han, unmodified appearance and everything, stands frozen, scrolling through the chat with a mix of confusion and disbelief. Who is this Tian Peng guy? How is he already taking fortresses this early? But if only it were Zhu Zhao. Wonder when that troublemaker's actually getting in here. She sighs, closes the chat panel. Unlike everyone else firing off public megaphone pleas trying to recruit me, she doesn't bother. She knows full well someone at that level doesn't just accept random friend requests from nobodies. Priority instead, build up her own territory, get strong on her own merit, so that someday, in real life, she and Zhu Zhao might actually have a real future together, free from her family's control over her marriage. This game isn't just a game to her either. It's her only real shot at rewriting her own fate. Sitting in my brand new fortress, I run through literally every sad thought I can think of trying to keep a straight face. Doesn't work. First blood rewards are just that good. 100 million each base resource. Converts to 400 million gold instantly. Stacks of acceleration cards, relocation scrolls, and 50 red tier resource upgrade scrolls, each capable of leveling any resource point straight to max tier red, worth 10 million resources each. That's 500 million in resource value, just sitting in scroll form. Plus 2 mythic chests on top. Time to send System Daddy his overdue blessing speech. Before I even finish, my friend request notification starts spamming nonstop. Lord Tian Peng, friend request please. I'd love to discuss a partnership. Lord Tian Peng. I'm an innocent little lowly. Easy to push over. Add me, and I'll send pics. Big bro, I mute notifications immediately. Genuinely. I've got 5 gorgeous SSS tier heroes at home. Why would I need a random stranger's photos? Set friend requests to auto-decline. Big guilds, national reps, corporate whales. Sure, eventually I'll connect with some of them, but not yet. Trade matters more to me right now than diplomacy, and I'm not ready to play that game on anyone else's terms. I renamed the fortress for convenience. Kunlun Fortress 1, owned by Heaven on Earth, Level 1, teleport link to several major regions once activated. Fortresses basically function as teleport hubs, but only connect to other fortresses owned by the same faction, allies, or anyone offering open access. Right now this is my only fortress, so teleporting's not actually usable yet. Plus fortresses need defending too. If monsters or NPCs retake it, I'd have to fight all over again, and I'm not even sure recapturing grants another first blood bonus. Probably not, knowing how strict the system usually is about exploits. There's a nice side perk though. Once I open the teleport network to other players, I can charge resource fees for usage. High-traffic fortresses basically fund themselves passively. Not opening it yet though, that's a later game move. First priority, raid the fortress's own warehouse. More small money waiting for me. Loot collected, satisfying haul, plenty for another wave of elite troop training. Cavemen finish cleanup, and I decide to head home. Leave the fortress unmanned for now. Garrison comes after the next round of recruiting. Newly captured fortresses get a 48-hour grace period anyway, similar to a fresh territory shield, just shorter. I queue up repairs for the damaged walls and defense systems while I'm at it. Back home, the moment I step off Louise, Cass greets me with way too much enthusiasm, barely dressed, very, one with nature, very elf-coded. I get it culturally. Doesn't make it easier to survive emotionally. Picture this, walking through your own front door, getting tackled by one gorgeous woman, immediately joined by several more piling on for the group hug. The dragon doesn't count, for the record. No man survives that unscathed. I try fighting back, badly outnumbered, plus an overeager dragon hovering nearby waiting for her turn. I lose, predictably. Hands off, gentlemen, don't grope. Who said you could just touch wherever you want, my lord? We're not gentlemen though, are you hungry? Let's go make dinner. Fine, go. But no more grabbing next time, understood? Yes, my lord. They scatter to the kitchen, and I finally get to check the territory panel properly. First, level up. Then check stats. Territory level 8. Fortress now listed as a sub-territory. Gold sitting at 260 million. Other resources similarly stacked. Food at 95 million. System reward plus fortress loot plus garrison kills, all combined to refill the treasury completely again. Convert everything to gold. 980 million total. Crack open the 2 mythic chests. Vampire King's Cloak. Mythic, 30% all stats, 100% lifesteal bonus, plus soul summon. 10% chance for any kill to spawn a temporary skeleton warrior ally for 12 hours. Elf King's Leather Armor. Mythic, 30% all stats, applies a 25% block rate buff, and 25% damage reduction shield to the entire elf formation. Cloak goes to Lilith obviously. That soul summon effect basically means I never need caveman cleanup duty again. Armor goes to Cass, since its effects buff her entire troop type automatically. Which also means Cass now has a system-mandated reason to keep wearing minimal leather gear forever. Not my fault. Purely tactical. I respect every hero's personal beliefs and cultural choices, especially the ones that happen to look incredible on me. I mean, around me. I am absolutely not that kind of lecherous lord. Definitely not. Anyway, keep counting the loot. Still got those red tier resource scrolls to deal with. Quick lore note on those red tier resource upgrade scrolls. Genuinely insane value. A white tier point holds 50,000 resources. Red tier holds 10 million. These scrolls let me skip straight to red regardless of starting tier. With 50 of them in hand, Regan time scales up to white Regans in 12 hours, red in 120. But even factoring that in, this is basically a guaranteed 500 million resource income every 5 days. Passive income, baby. Dinner's ready, and naturally I get groped at the table by my own heroes again. Honestly, at this point, suffering this particular kind of loss just feels rewarding. The more I lose, the luckier I apparently get. Post-dinner, time to dump resources into more troops. Louise hit level 10, unlocking a 10,000 unit dragon cap. Top her off from 2,200 to 10,000 and 4 total. Costs 780 million gold. My treasury, which was sitting fat at 980 million, just got gutted down to 200 million. Painful, but absolutely worth it. Top-tier units crush mid and low-tier stuff so hard it's not even fair. With what's left, Alice gets to convert her remaining 10,000 wolf warriors into blood knights. Cass holds the main territory with her 20,000 guardian elves. Main strike force stays solid. 10,000 fire dragon mages, 9,000 vampire dukes, 10,004 dragons, 1,700 unicorns, 2 angels for support. Alice and her 12,500 blood knights get dispatched to garrison the fortress instead. Gold's empty again. Naturally. Hand off the mythic gear, scrolls, everything's distributed. Territory business handled, time for bed. Rough night before. Early morning today, need actual rest tonight. The moment I mention sleep though, every single woman and one dragon in the room lights up like Christmas. Iris claims she's afraid of the dark, insists on staying with me. Alice wants to sleep wherever Iris sleeps. Lilith offers a relaxing massage for stress relief. Cass, and this one's a stretch, claims elf ears glow at night and insists I need to personally verify this claim. And Louise, somehow the most shameless of all, offers to literally be my mattress. What kind of respectable lord uses his pet dragon as a bed? Transparent, all of you. Every single excuse, denied. I tell them, very firmly, that if they want anything from me, the answer is, work harder, grow the territory faster, and maybe, someday. That seems to satisfy them enough to disperse without further argument. Internal sigh of relief. If I'd said yes to literally any of those offers tonight, I would not have survived to see morning. Meanwhile, back in reality, China's capital, inside a heavily secured mansion, a golden coffin-shaped supreme pod opens. Out steps a tall, muscular man, athletic build, sharp features. Licenzi, military rep, in real life. Cleans up, changes into fatigues, and reports to a study where an elderly man in traditional robes, clearly someone powerful, waits. The old man asks how the game's going. Licenzi hesitates, then asks directly about Tian Peng. Can they identify who this player actually is? The elder shakes his head. Apparently, the system itself prevents any government or individual from tracing player identities. Military intelligence guesses it's a domestic player, but nothing concrete. The order, befriend Tian Peng in-game by any means possible, and if he's willing to align with their faction, under any terms that don't harm the nation or its people, accept. Turns out the game actually ran a closed beta a month before public launch, limited to 10 slots per country, monopolized by major factions within each nation, with some bigger countries straight-up stealing smaller nation slots. Looking at you, America. That beta got wiped entirely once it ended, meaning Licenzi, Arthur, and the rest of these top players all had a full extra month of practice and pre-planned strategy from real-world government and corporate war rooms backing them. I had none of that, just 5 years of past life memory and a frankly unreasonable amount of luck. Which is exactly why my unplanned, chaotic progress is throwing every single one of their carefully laid plans into chaos, and why every major faction on the server is desperately trying to figure out who I actually am. Meanwhile, completely unaware of any of this international intrigue, I'm sleeping like a baby back home in heaven on earth. Morning hits, fully rested and recharged. Step out of the hall and immediately get tackled with 5 separate hugs. Breakfast eaten, time to plan today's mission, Fortress number 2. Once you've tasted that sweet first blood loot, there's no going back. Gotta chase the next reward. Realistically, I'm probably the only player with the firepower to take a fortress right now, but better safe than sorry. Today's calm doesn't guarantee tomorrow stays that way, and I'm flying solo with 0 allies, so no room for complacency. Strike while the iron's hot. Garrison plan. Cass and her guardian elves hold the main territory. Top priority, can't risk the home base. Cavemen stay too, full-time resource mining duty. Toss in 700 unicorns and 1 angel as backup just in case. Thanks to the Vampire King's cloak's loot spawning effect, I don't even need labor troops along for cleanup anymore on these raids. Final briefing for Cass on Fortress Defense Protocol. Troops stowed. Mount up and head out toward the sunrise. Inside Kunlun proper, 0 other player territories. Guessing everyone else is smart enough to avoid this death zone. Outside Kunlun, though, plenty of low-level player territories pop up. Level 1 to 2, still under shield protection. I can't help but scoff. No walls even? Embarrassing. Conveniently forgetting I was in that exact same boat just days ago. These newer lords are out grinding mobs, opening chests, fighting over resource points. Completely unaware, I already cleared most of this region weeks ago. Whatever scraps are left, they're basically licking the bowl clean at this point. The smarter ones spot Louise and the unicorn squad flying overhead and immediately go quiet, terrified of accidentally drawing dragonfire attention. Smart move. Honestly, their current army wouldn't survive a single breath attack. I don't bother with the small fry. Focus stays on reaching Fortress number 2. Conveniently, claiming Fortress 1 revealed nearby fortress coordinates automatically, saving serious scouting time. Open the chat channel during travel. Megaphone spams finally stopped. 100,000 gold per message adds up fast, and apparently even big factions know when to cut their losses on a dead-end investment. Regular chats still flooded with hopefuls trying their luck for free though. Can't blame them. Free is free. 36 hours of travel. Iris hunts and cooks along the way. I nap on Louise's back whenever exhausted. Her lifelong dream of being my personal mattress, finally fulfilled. The girls keep swapping unicorns whenever their mount gets tired. Louise, being top tier, recovers fast enough to just push through with minimal rest. Also, she's possessive about who rides her when she's free, so swapping wasn't really an option anyway. Archangel's heart cooldown cycles twice during the trip. 2 more angels recruited, total of 4, 1 earmarked for Cass back home. This is exactly why fortress networks matter so much. Once 2 fortresses link up, travel becomes instant instead of multi-day grinds like this one. Finally reached the edge of the Dark Valley at sunset, having departed at dawn. True to its name, this region's packed with dark-aligned monsters, Tier 5 around the outskirts, scaling up deeper in. Same deal as Kunlun. Nobody's brave enough to settle here yet, leaving it wide open for me. We clear a patch of land for camp. Everyone's exhausted and starving after a full day plus of non-stop travel. Gotta rest properly before attempting the assault. Troops released, fed, Iris hunts up some game and cooks dinner. Post-meal, everyone's too tired to even bother flirting with me, which honestly tells you how rough that trip really was. Straight to sleep, no funny business. Next morning, wake up to breakfast already waiting. While eating, Iris briefs me. Turns out she and Lilith scouted the fortress overnight while I slept. My lord, this fortress is also level 1, similar monster count to the first one. Lilith chimes in. Guards are tier 5 to 8, all dark type. No flying units spotted. No flyers? That's huge news. My roster's almost entirely ranged or flying units. Alice's Blood Knights are my only melee, and even they'd crush anything in there given the tier gap. Breakfast finished. Time to march on Dark Valley Fortress number 2. Hour plus flight gets us to the target. This fortress sits deep in the valley's core, surrounded by cliffs on 3 sides, single entrance to the south, and behind that entrance, a serious wall, way more heavily defended than Fortress number 1, full patrol rotation, and everything. I scoff. Doesn't matter how alert you are if you can't reach me. Battle plan. Iris and her fire dragon mages handle the turrets and wall guards first, then pivot to the wall itself once it's clear. Alice blocks the valley entrance, protecting Iris from any potential ambush, holding until the defense systems are down, then charges to finish the breach. Louise and Lilith go straight for the defense grid first. Ignore the wall guards entirely. Push directly into the fortress interior once the turrets are dead. I stay back with the angels and unicorns on support duty. Increasingly, my job is just standing around looking important while my army does literally everything. My stamina's better saved for other things. Attack. Fire dragon mages open up, Louise and Lilith's flying squads converge on the turrets. Defense systems crumble fast. Wall guards are entirely melee-locked, completely unable to touch flying units. And watching Alice's Blood Knights mass at the entrance is enough to scare the wall guards into not even trying a sortie. Once the turrets are dead, Louise and Lilith stop wasting time on the wall guards entirely and just push straight into the fortress interior, leaving the angry, useless wall defenders shouting at empty sky. The monsters basically resign themselves to dying passively at this point. Iris pivots her mages onto the wall itself once the turrets are confirmed dead, and I give Alice the signal. She's been practically vibrating with anticipation, and the second the order comes she charges with all 12,500 Blood Knights. Ground shaking, dust everywhere kind of charge. Combined assault from mages and knights drops the wall's durability to 0 fast, blasting open multiple breaches. Alice leads the knights straight through into the fortress. Mages get stashed back in storage. Iris and I follow overhead on unicorns, and what greets us inside is pure one-sided slaughter. Louise's dragons get bored of aerial bombardment and just land to melee everything directly. Mid-tier monsters literally can't dent top-tier defense, so it's a complete massacre. Smart play to take out the turrets first too. Those things hit hard enough to actually matter, and even with angels around to revive losses, my troops are expensive and I don't love wasting them. Alice's knights crash through everything in formation, and Lilith's vampire squad is having the most fun, abusing the fact that the garrison is all melee. She just hovers in the air spamming her blood drain AoE, self-sustaining indefinitely since her healing outpaces the cost every single time. Bonus: her Vampire King's cloak keeps spawning free temporary skeleton allies off every kill. More bodies joining the fight for 0 extra cost. The last boss falls, fight's over, total victory. Skeleton labor handles battlefield cleanup, free, no caveman needed, while I head for the command hall. Claim the fortress. System: congratulations to player Tian Peng, second fortress capture. Reward: 80 million each base resource, 50 acceleration cards, 20 resource relocation scrolls, 20 red tier upgrade scrolls, 1 mythic equipment chest. 3 more server-wide announcements. This time the silence that follows isn't excited, it's pure disbelief. A second fortress already? Most players at this point have barely scraped together a couple hundred low-tier troops, if that. Capturing fortresses requires real combat losses for normal players. Nobody else got a free tier 14 dragon on day 1 like I did. The entire server collectively spirals into self-doubt. How is this guy already 2 fortresses deep this fast? Did he take 0 losses both times? How is recruiting high-tier troops happening this quickly for him when everyone else is stuck grinding low-tier garbage? Somewhere out there, an entire server full of players is collectively wondering why this game is apparently this hard for everyone except one mysterious lord named Tian Peng. Chat goes absolutely feral after the announcement. People begging me to reveal myself, comparing themselves bitterly to my progress. Other players trying to calm them down and getting cursed out for it instead. Pure chaos, mixed envy and inspiration and despair. Arthur, somewhere in the Western continent, just punched a tree after hearing the news. Some sleazy Japanese guy threatens to find me, in real life, after losing a boss kill celebration to my announcement instead. And out in the elf forest, that same female lord, Meng Han, unknowingly, quietly pushes herself harder, hoping catching up to Tian Peng might somehow free her from her family's marriage politics. Big faction stops spamming the megaphone this time though. 100k gold a pop, 0 response last time, not worth repeating. Better spent on actual development. Back in my fortress, I check the reward and frown. Smaller reward than last time? Seriously, system? First time you treat me like a sweetheart. Second time I'm suddenly chopped liver. Rude. Rename the fortress, Dark Valley Fortress 2. Teleport network now links to Kunlun, plus a couple new regions, coastal and desert zones. My fast travel maps expanding nicely. Crack open the mythic chest reward, Flame God's Crown. Mythic, 30% all stats, Paired effects with Iris's existing Flame God Scepter. Obviously hers now. Plus 20 more red tier resource scrolls. Another 200 million guaranteed income stream stacking onto my existing setup. Since the new fortress has a 48-hour shield before teleport activates, no point sitting around waiting. Instead, gather everyone and push outward from the fortress to farm the surrounding untouched region. Completely virgin territory, no players have set foot here yet. Immediately run into Dark Knights. Tier 8, decent stats, completely irrelevant against my roster. Free experience, free loot, no reason to skip it. Quickly realize the monster density isn't enough to keep 4 squads busy simultaneously, so we split into 4 directions, each hero leading their own exclusive troop type. Iris takes the unicorns along since Fire Dragon mages are squishy despite the damage output. 3 angels get distributed 1 per team, just in case. Skeleton labor, free, 12-hour lifespan. Who cares? Splits evenly too. I head west with Louise and the full dragon squad. Everything we encounter gets steamrolled instantly. Total domination, 0 resistance. Hours pass in pure farming bliss. Dark Valley still completely untouched by other players, meaning monster density, resource points, and chest spawns are all at maximum density. My personal haul alone, just from the western route, ends up massive. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the server, the major factions keep grinding hard, especially the beta test veterans, who've got real-world strategy teams backing their every move. On a Japanese island, a cluster of small, unimpressive-looking players, all linked to Japan's self-defense forces, are dumping every resource, item, and troop template they've gathered straight into Yumikawachi Ku's stockpile. 10 million base resources, 1 acceleration card, tier 3 pighead troop template, silver chest, 50,000 resources. Yumikawachi looks through the haul, unimpressed. Not enough. I need more resources, higher tier troops, more items. And heroes, the higher tier, the better. This game determines our nation's destiny. His followers cheer like he just delivered a war speech, vowing to make him stronger than that Tian Peng guy. Turns out this is the standard playbook for most major faction reps. Coordinate spawn locations in advance, then have dozens of disposable, worker, players funnel every scrap of loot straight to one designated champion. Crowdsource power leveling, basically. Enough grunt labor and the resource gains genuinely add up fast. Still, my lead isn't something pure manpower catches up to easily. High-tier troops, heroes, gear, special items. None of that comes from grinding alone, no matter how many bodies you throw at the problem. 1 head start compounds. And mine's bigger than just 1 step ahead. 2 solid days farming the western route with Louise and the full dragon squad. Total domination. Every monster swept aside, every chest claimed. Genuinely lost track of how dominant it got. Small oversight though, Lilith's free skeleton labor only lasts 12 hours. By the back half of the trip, with no labor units left, I just had the dragons handle resource gathering personally. Felt slightly absurd, but hey, nobody's complaining about extra grinding, and bonus, great excuse to level the troops up. Maxed out units versus level 1 units aren't just double the stats. For top-tier units especially, that translates to way more than double the actual combat power. Small numbers scaled up become devastating in ways that aren't intuitive until you see it firsthand. By the time the fortress's 48-hour shield finally expires, all 4 squads regroup, having absolutely cleaned out the surrounding region. The teleport circle activates in the fortress's central hall, glowing white hexagram, slowly rotating. Looking at it gives me an instinctive flinch. Please tell me the system didn't design this transition with the same trash flash effect. I don't teleport home immediately though. First stop, the command panel, to configure transit settings, specifically, transit fees. Since I'm opening this fortress to public use, unlike the first one, which stays private and close to home, might as well charge a little something. Purely as a public service, obviously, imagine the travel time other players would save using my network instead of marching for days like I did getting here. Set the fee to the system's maximum allowed, 30 gold per unit transported. Genuinely wish I could charge more, but apparently the system caps it. Annoying. 30 gold per unit isn't much. 10,000 units costs 300,000 gold, basically pocket change, definitely not enough to fund, say, 3 more dragons. Definitely not. I also lock out player access to Kunlun Fortress 1 specifically. Too close to home base. Not ready for outside traffic there yet. Settings done. Gather everyone for assignments. Alice, you're staying here. Run this fortress. Leveling, resource gathering, chest hunting, the works. I'll leave you 12,500 Blood Knights, 1,000 unicorns, and enough Vampire Dukes to round out 10,000 total support troops. She freezes, genuinely shocked. Then the pout starts, eyes welling up. Does my lord not love me anymore? Leaving me behind. I sigh, walk over, ruffle her hair. Of course I love you. You're my favorite. Beat. Honestly, this job's too important. Only you could handle something this critical. Nobody else could pull it off. I shoot a look at the others, who immediately catch on and pile an agreement, then drag Alice off for some whispered girl talk I'm conveniently not allowed to overhear. Apparently being a respectable, trustworthy lord doesn't earn me any exemption from the secrecy either. Rude. Eventually Alice comes back, mood fully recovered. Fine, since my lord trusts me with something this important, I accept. But you owe me a favor in return, a small one. What kind of favor? She hugs my arm, all sweetness. Haven't decided yet. I'll tell you later. Just promise, okay? Please. Worn down completely, I agree. She beams. Visit me often, okay? I'll let you know my condition once I think of it. I spend another 20 million gold rounding Lilith's vampire contribution up to the full 10,000 for Alice's. Garrison, stash everyone else into storage, and we step through the teleport circle under Alice's slightly wistful gaze. Brief disorientation later, and we're at Kunlun Fortress 1. Of course it's still trash. Slightly less trash than before though, weirdly. Maybe System Daddy's developing a conscience. We head up to the walls, and credit where it's due. Cass apparently took the defense assignment seriously, stationing 10,000 Guardian Elves here on her own initiative. Smart. Wait, that means home territory might be running thin on defenders. Heading straight home, I arrive just in time to catch a small siege already underway. Low threat level though, barely worth getting involved. Obsidian walls, 8 million durability. Nothing low tier is cracking that anytime soon. Even unattended, the wall would outlast their entire attack with negligible wear. Only real threat would be flying enemies, and even then, turrets and Guardian Elves handle that fine. I never bothered building most of the extra defense tower blueprints either. Early game, Edge of Kunlun positioning means monster tiers stay manageable, and frankly that resource is better spent training more Guardian Elves anyway. Same cost, way more value, plus they're objectively easier on the eyes than a turret. But watching the Guardian Elves actively defending the wall, something's off. The numbers don't add up. I only ever trained 20,000 total. 10,000 went to Fortress 1. That should leave 10,000 max back home. But there's clearly way more than 10,000 stationed on this wall alone. Wait. Ignore the siege entirely, head straight home. Cass is already waiting, full enthusiasm mode activated. My lord, I missed you so much. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that. Back at the hall, debrief time. Apparently the gap explains itself fast. Cass remembered I had 50 red tier gold resource points set to regenerate, completed their 5-day cycle while I was off conquering Fortress number 2, and used the windfall to train an extra 40,000 Guardian Elves beyond the original 20,000. 10,000 sent to garrison Fortress 1, the rest reinforcing home defense and expanding the patrol radius. Smart move. Genuinely didn't even remember setting that up myself. I hand over the new rewards, relocation scrolls, more red tier upgrade scrolls, and let Cass manage distribution. Tally everything up. Territory funds plus fortress loot plus 2 days of Dark Valley farming converts to a combined 1.73 billion gold. Time to spend it. Cass's Guardian Elves are sorted. 60,000 total covers everything for now. Alice gets a motivational gift back at Fortress 2. 60,000 more Wolf Warriors, with instructions to convert them herself into Blood Knights at her leisure. Iris gets bumped to 60,000 Fire Dragon Mages total, using remaining Dragon Bloodstone and Flame Devil Hearts. 500 million gold well spent, especially since her passive scales with her own growing damage output. Lilith's vampire lineup gets the real splurge, 60,000 Vampire Dukes, full 1.2 billion gold dump. Tier 11's still the efficient sweet spot. No reason to jump to Prince tier yet. Treasury. completely empty again. Louise is closing in on level 22, which unlocks a 100,000 unit dragon cap. Filling that gap would cost roughly 9 billion gold. Just staggering numbers at this point. Current full army roster, 10,004 black dragons, tier 14, 7 angels, 60,000 vampire dukes, 50,000 guardian elves, 60,000 fire dragon mages, 700 unicorns, 60,000 wolf warriors, 10,000 cavemen, plus 10,000 guardian elves at Fortress 1 and Alice's garrison at Fortress 2, 12,500 blood knights, 10,000 vampire dukes, 1,000 unicorns. I admire the absolute army I've built. Right up until I glance at the resource panel and see 4 glorious zeros staring back, with a 9 billion gold dragon upgrade still looming. I'm broke. I am so broke. Why is gold never, ever enough? Iris gently reminds me I'm forgetting something. The warehouse. All those defense blueprints, gear, troop templates I've been hoarding instead of selling. Oh right. I completely forgot about my entire stockpile of sellable junk. Most players have hit the strategy map by now. The big factions are presumably stocked up nicely with resources too. Perfect timing to start fleecing them properly. Already mentally calculating the gold rolling in. Time to drum up some hype. Let's get a server-wide megaphone going. Gotta give the whales enough lead time to gather their funds before the auction. After all, wouldn't want them underprepared to overpay me properly. Except, right as I go to send the message, I remember, I just converted literally everything into gold and dumped it all into recruitment. Territory's completely dry. Can't even afford the megaphone fee. Right as I'm wondering where to scrounge up resources fast, Cass walks back in. My lord, the new resource points finished relocating and upgrading to red tier already. Also, I cleared that siege earlier and brought back the loot. Talk about perfect timing. I immediately reward her with a kiss. Just as I'm about to bank the resources, Iris and Lilith crowd in too, clearly expecting the same treatment. And behind them, Louise, still dragon-shaped, sadly, is visibly eyeing her turn with way too much enthusiasm. I quickly grab the resources and bolt for the hall before things escalate further, sending everyone off to prep dinner instead. Genuinely a steep price for some loot, but worth it. Convert everything to gold, just over 1 million, enough to cover the megaphone fee finally. Send the announcement. Attention all lords. This is Tianpeng. Tomorrow at noon, I'll be auctioning off gear, defense tower blueprints, and a selection of mid-tier troop templates. Pictures attached. Anyone interested, please prepare your base resources in advance. The announcement drops, and the entire server instantly loses its collective mind. Megaphone's too expensive for most players to respond with, so the regular chat channel turns into an absolute war zone of begging, dramatic sobbing, and buy it for me, and I'll meet you in real life energy. Yuma Kawachi, on his sleazy little island, sees the mid-tier troop templates on display and starts sweating with greed, immediately ordering every single one of his followers to hand over their entire stockpile so he can dominate the auction. Arthur, somewhere on the western continent, is grinding his teeth wondering how on earth I keep producing this stuff so fast. Lizenzi, meanwhile, takes the news seriously and starts strategizing with his advisor, guessing correctly that I'm Chinese based purely on the name, Tianpeng, concluding their whole development plan needs reworking around whatever I'm about to dump on the market. Tier 7 troop templates would be a massive power jump for literally every faction currently capped around Tier 4. Every major power player across the server scrambles to prep funds overnight. Me? I'm busy enjoying an extremely pampered dinner, hand-fed bites of everything, zero effort required on my part. Post-dinner, I send everyone off to actually rest for once. Been a brutal few days. Everyone deserves real recovery time. Quick switch to my secret identity. Bajie, send Minghan a message asking her to log off, something to discuss. Then I log out myself. Some things are easier to handle in real life. Pod opens, I step out, run into Minghan doing the same thing. We clean up together, grab a late dinner, and once we're both recovered enough to function, she finally asks, "Why'd it take you so long to add me as a friend? How's your development going? Is something wrong? Or did you just want to shower together?" I laugh. Pick one question at a time. She grins. Fine, one at a time. I genuinely want to know how you're doing, but I'm almost scared to ask, in case. In case what? Worried about bruising my ego? Honestly, past life me probably would have been touchy about that. This life? Thicker skin, way more confidence, especially with my actual progress backing it up. Tian Peng's identity stays a secret, but Ba Jie can say whatever he wants. Tian Peng's business isn't Ba Jie's responsibility, technically speaking. I only just got into the strategy map myself, actually. Bit of bad luck, though. Lost most of my troops trying to take a resource point, and right as my protection shield ran out, monsters broke through and wiped my territory. She immediately worries. As long as you're okay. Since your territory's gone, just come join mine. What's mine is yours. Genuinely touched by that. Part of me wants to just tell her the truth right now, but the timing's still wrong. So Lai continues. Lying is bad, I know. Don't worry about it. Funny story, actually. Right after my territory fell, I got rescued by this legendary hero who descended on a rainbow cloud, dressed head to toe in golden armor. He brought me back to his place. I'm basically his spokesperson now. She bursts out laughing. Huh, you think you're me? My ID's literally Purple Cloud Fairy. Was your hero perhaps named Sun Wukong? Wasn't that annoying monkey? It was Marshal Tian Peng. She's still not putting it together, assuming I'm just riffing on the journey to the West reference since my ID's Ba Jie. Basically Tian Peng's reincarnation in the actual myth. Huh, okay, Marshal Tian Peng, very funny. Come on, just join my territory already. I sigh. I mean the player, whose ID is literally Tian Peng. Her laughter cuts off instantly. Wait, which Tian Peng? The one who's had 2 world announcements for capturing fortresses? The one doing the auction tomorrow? Desperately wanting to just say, yes, it's me, but I can't. So instead, yep, that handsome, brilliant Tian Peng. That's the guy I work for now. She practically tackle jumps onto me with excitement. Oh great. So this is universal female behavior apparently, not just my heroes. Once she calms down, confusion sets in. Why would someone like that even bother with you? Excuse me. It's not bother with me. It's mutual respect between like-minded individuals. She gives me a look. Don't give me that face. It's not romantic. It's not weird. He just thought our usernames matching was fate or something. Practically insisted we're long-lost brothers. Not much I could do about that. I run through the cover story I'd prepped in advance. Mention I already set aside 2 tier 8 troop templates just for her specifically. She drags me back to the bedroom with significantly more enthusiasm than usual, and let's just say the rest of the night doesn't involve much sleeping. Wake up next morning, body wrecked. Ming Han, glowing and refreshed, finishes breakfast and logs straight back in like nothing happened. I'm left limping around like a zombie, internally seething. If this is the reward, once or twice is fine. Repeated nightly, it's basically a punishment at this point. After downing the recovery soup, Ming Han apparently ordered the chef to prep specifically for me. Rude, but accurate. I head back into the pod. Back in game, greeted enthusiastically as always. Then breakfast number 2. Yes, the game tracks hunger too, unfortunately. Everyone asks what today's plan is. I don't personally want to move much today. Last night took it out of me. Even though it's only my consciousness inside the game, the exhaustion somehow still transfers over. Plus, big auction at noon, gotta save energy. This is exactly what heroes are for, beyond the obvious. Final assignments. Cass holds the territory, keeps expanding the scouting radius. Iris, Louise, and Lilith take their squads to claim a 3rd fortress I marked, leaving 10,000 guardian elves behind to garrison it once secured. No public access, no resident hero needed. Purely a private travel time shortcut for future expeditions. Orders set. I head to the warehouse to inventory the auction lots. Gear from bronze to epic goes up for sale. Legendary stays mine. I don't have enough yet. Defense blueprints mostly get sold off too, keeping just the cannon design for myself out of curiosity. Troop templates. 2 tier 8 ones earmarked specifically for Ming Han. Everything else, 6 tier 7s, 10 tier SIXS, 10 tier 5s, and nearly 100 lower tier templates, goes up for bid. Since I'm taking it easy today, might as well tease Ming Han a little. Switch to Ba Jie's profile, friend list containing exactly 1 name, Purple Cloud Fairy, and start flirting shamelessly. Apparently, I never learn. Meanwhile, the whole server's counting down to noon. Chat's a mess of anticipation, sucking up, and people calling each other out for sucking up. Yamakawachi and his crew are sleep-deprived and furious, having spent the entire night trading resources with every minion they've got, desperate to secure Tier 7 troop templates for some boss fight they're planning. Noon approaches. I fire off one final megaphone message. Ladies and gentlemen, the auction begins in 10 minutes. Have your resources ready. Instant explosion of activity across the server. Even the big faction reps quietly relax. Waiting's always the hardest part. Hunting season begins. I open the trading panel in the Lord's Hall, set up my auction shop, standard system feature. Lets any lord buy or sell goods, with proper time bidding and regional targeting built in. For the record, yes, I'm selling to international buyers too, not just domestic players. Reasoning. 1. This stuff isn't even that impressive by my standards. I'll have better soon. 2. I desperately need gold. Louise is hitting level 20 any day now, and filling her dragon cap gap costs a brutal 9 billion gold. 3. I just feel like it, and that's reason enough. Not like a handful of items meaningfully shifts national power balances anyway. And who says every domestic faction is automatically more trustworthy than a foreign one? Anyway, tangent over. I list everything except the mid-tier troop templates with a 5-minute bid window. Quick turnover for the general population. The tier 5 to 7 troop templates get a full 30-minute window instead, giving the big factions room to actually fight over them properly. Noon hits. Auction goes live instantly, and within seconds the listing floods with bids from what feels like a billion different player IDs, numbers climbing non-stop. 5 minutes later, everything except the mid-tier templates is completely sold out. Final prices genuinely surprise me, way higher than I expected. Strength in numbers, I guess. Even modest items become valuable when an entire server's hungry for an edge. Now for the main event. The mid-tier troop templates are still climbing. This is going to be good.